episode 65. Today we've got Donovan and Greg here to talk all about their time at Universal Epic Universe down in Florida. Sounds like it was a sweaty but very fun time. After that, we discuss our favorite games on the Nintendo Switch in the form of Mount Switchmore. It's up to you and Haas Mamu to decide whose mountain is best. Storytime previews. Persona 5 The Phantom X makes its way west. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. We've got a preview for that. Then it's on to reviews. Elden Ring Nightreign. That's the big one. Tune in to find out how Sam found that one. He's a big From Software guy, so you know he knows what he's talking about. We've got reviews for Tainted, Grail, The Fall of Avalon, F125, The Siege, and the Sandfox, Scarlet Salvation, Kathy Rain 2, Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, and To a T. Then it's on to news, cancellations, and layoffs at EA, unfortunately, and Cliffhanger Games. Black Panther will not make its way out. Record player numbers on Steam for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Fantastic sales numbers for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And a Pokemon Presents coming in July. A long wait for a presentation that's often quickly announced. We've also got numbers from NVIDIA for their previous quarter, and that about does it for the docket today. Thanks for being here. We're going to kick things off right now. Here we go.
So I was on assignment this week, and I was getting ready, and I was, you take your shower, you just try not to smell like ass at the press event, right? And I look in the mirror, and, since I started working and, since I bought Shack News and became CEO and all of the gray hair on my body has appeared since then. But this was the most horrific gray hair I've ever noticed. I have gray mullet hair, guys.
Whoa. Pics?
And I blame this on you, Donovan, and you, Greg, and you, Jill, and everyone at Shack News. It's all your fault.
Hey, I've been losing my hair before you got gray hair because of Shack News, all right? Don't talk to me about gray hair.
Just saying, Greg, gray mullet hair in this economy?
You have hair.
I guess. But it's like, how the jump scare I had when I looked in the mirror and I was like, what is that on my neck? Oh my God. It was like, it wasn't just one, Greg. It was like multiple. And that's just offensive to me. So anyway, I blame you, Shack News.
Understandable.
It's probably, you probably look distinguished.
I want to see
I
pictures.
don't think gray mullet hair is distinguished. Unless it's all gray. You know what I mean? Like if I go like full like Gandalf the White with it, I'm fine with that.
Right.
It's this transition between having it's also striking because I have black hair, right? So it's like the contrast of light and dark is striking. And it was early in the morning because I don't know why, but these press events start at like butt-ass o'clock in the morning and then they go to like 5. But anyway.
Well, we've all heard of salt and pepper mutton at the dinner table, but now we have salt and pepper mullet.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
It's Shack Together in America on the internet. If this is your first time joining us, Shack Together is a Shack News video game podcast featuring myself, Shack News CEO, EIC, EIEIO, Asif Khan. Our producer, Joe Stasio, is here.
Hey.
And we have Head of Video, Greg Burke is here.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Hey. And we have our news editor, Donovan Erskine's here.
What's up?
Hey, guys. As you know, this is a video game podcast, so we ask people what they've been playing lately. I also want to ask you, where you guys been? What you guys been doing lately?
Yes. Greg and I just got back from the sweltering heat of Orlando, Florida for the grand opening of Universal Epic Universe, their newest theme park down there.
So you guys were like
Orlando.
in the depths of a swamp-ass advisory the whole time, right?
Oh, it was terrible. The weather was awful.
I mean,
it's terrible.
It's so funny because there's like a narrative through line here where I had like looked at the forecast the day before I flew out and I saw like, 95 for like 5 days straight in Orlando. That's not great. And I sent it in Slack. I'm like, oh, pray for me and Greg. And Greg's like, oh, it's fine. I'm California and that's like a nice brisk spring day for me. I'm like, all right, dude. different heat in Florida. We get there, and the first time I see Greg in like the media room, he's got like jeans and like a jacket on over his t-shirt, his Shack News jacket. I'm like, you are making a mistake, my good man. And within like
and it's
a
a
few
black,
hours,
it's the black Shack News hoodie, right?
it's the black zip. Within like a few hours of us being at the park, Greg's like, I can feel the beads of sweat rolling down my back.
That's swamp ass, Greg. When it's that small of your back, Greg, you know, like when the small of your back, when that starts just dripping profusely, it drips right onto your ass. That's the swamp ass.
The humidity was like 80-something%, and it was like dead air. And I'm like, I'm not like, there's two things I'm not used to: is dead air and humidity. Like we always have the Santa Ana when we go to the Universal.
There was a lack of wind. And the worst part, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is first world problems. We were at a very cool, privileged event, but we had like stand and wait outside for a lot of the stuff too. When they would do like the ceremonies and whatnot.
Park. Yeah, it's like a lot of it's outdoor. A lot of it doesn't have fans or AC or anything. And like I just told you guys, I was like, stay hydrated because you're gonna get dehydrated at that kind of event. But that's cool. So you guys were in Universal Studios, right?
Yeah, I taking the weather and stuff out of it. It was awesome. I told Greg when we were down there, I was like, this is one of the like most surreal events I've covered for Shack News. Just because, I mean, we talked about it. Like theme parks don't open very often. You know, Disney, Universal, they don't roll out new parks like every other year. This is like once or twice a decade. That they're doing this. There were people there that cover theme parks every day, and this was their first time doing it. An event like this, it was really cool. The park itself is awesome. It's got Super Nintendo World. It's broken up into like 4 distinct universes. You like go through portals. So they have Super Nintendo World, which is really cool to see. Much bigger than the one in Hollywood, which we knew. They had so much, just acres and acres of land down there in Orlando. That was very cool to go to. They had a Dark Universe, which I was maybe the most curious about because it's just like the Universal monsters getting a theme park home, which as a collective IP, they've kind of all just been dragged through the mud and forgotten largely throughout the decades. They tried to very infamously like kickstart that as a new universe with the Tom Cruise Mummy movie that like fell on its face and a bunch of movies got canceled.
Oh yeah, that tweet will live forever in infamy. That we're starting a dark universe.
Yeah, welcome to the dark universe. Like a million actors that never got to do their movies. Yeah.
Wait, but now the dark universe is Frankenstein's monster, Dracula,
Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's all the classic Universal monsters from like
all the 30s monsters,
20s, 30s. Yeah.
Wow. That's a deep cut for them.
It is, which, to be fair, though, is really cool to see as like a horror fan. Because it's essentially like if you took Halloween Horror Nights and then gave it like a permanent home.
I was going to say, this is going to be perfect for Halloween.
Oh, literally, I was walking, I was like, oh my God, they're going to have so much fun with this place in October.
Yeah,
but cool. It was cool. They have a Frankenstein's Castle ride that is, I believe it's called Monsters Unchained, where the story is essentially like Victoria Frankenstein's trying to like take down Dracula, and me and Greg rode that ride like I think 4 times.
We just stayed on the belt. Like, I'm bored now. I don't want to ride it anymore.
Yeah, after the 3rd time, I was like, all right, we get off this. Greg's like, one more time. They have really cool animatronic technology on that ride. There's like an actual physical Dracula. There's a werewolf that swipes at you. There's like a mummy that drops down from the ceiling. Very impressive. They've got like pyrotechnics, watered splash, your chairs shaking and vibrating. Very, very cool.
Did you guys do the Darkmoor monster makeup experience?
We did not get makeup done.
They offered me a nope.
It was in the gift shop, yeah. So you go into the gift shop in Darkmoor, which is the town in Dark Universe, and you can buy like your shirts, and they've got like hoodies that react to black light and stuff. But there's like a little gated off area where you could go in, and there's like a little like parlor where you could like sit in a chair in front of a mirror, and they were like doing face paint and whatnot.
I could see that being huge with kids.
Oh yeah, definitely will be. 100%.
That's cool. Like face painting, but like what monster style? That sounds
get like
fun.
A Frankenstein artwork done. To me, it just kept going back to like the immersion of it was just so well done. Even to the way it's like designed, where like when you're outside of Dark Universe, all you see is like the circular portal tunnel you walk through, right? It's got like the text over it. It's alive. Frankenstein, and they've got like a wrap around like LED screen that's like got like crackling energy when you walk through.
Yeah. But, I was looking at that picture. That looks cool as hell. Like he's got like Tesla coils around him and stuff.
Yeah. Very cool technology. But like from the outside, you can't see what's actually in there. And then you walk and you turn a corner, and a lot of it is forced perspective. But Frankenstein's castle looks massive. It's like this huge, staggering manor that just like sits in this park that you don't see until you're actually inside of it. And they managed to do that in like Harry Potter has a similar thing where you don't really see anything in it. Then you walk in, and then the buildings all look to scale. How to Train Your Dragon.
That's the third universe is Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's like Harry Potter, but if it was in France, essentially, because it's like
1930s France from the Fantastic Beasts movies.
So, Greg, like I know you and Nicole are like huge Harry Potter fans. You guys have been to Orlando for the Wizarding World, right?
Yeah.
Is this like supplemental to that, or do you think they're gonna like sunset the Wizarding World?
No, it's by far the most attractive. It's one. I think it's one of the best rides in the park. It's also one of the most popular. Like, I've been keeping tabs of the wait times.
The Harry Potter ride was the only one that they had to shut down for capacity during the media preview.
Yeah. It shut down, and like it's been a 300-minute wait queue every certain times during the day. Yeah, so it's just that ride's man. Like the world is okay, the world is meh, but like Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade are just more iconic in like every single way, like from the books and in the movies. This one was in the second movie, which is arguably the worst of the three movies, but like it's still cool. Like it's still Harry Potter. It's cool. Like the 1930s aesthetic is interesting. You don't really experience that very often. I love that aesthetic. I think guys have a lot of like costume options in that time period, which is kind of cool. Vests and hats and all these cool like almost like sort of Western Victorian era type of style. But no, it was awesome. And like Nicole's really mad I went without her, so we're going next year and I have to take her with me.
Yeah.
I mean, you took Donovan instead of Nicole. How dare you?
I did.
Yep. That's betrayal. That's betrayal. Then that ride though was very impressive. The Ministry of Magic ride. It's like one that combines like physical and digital effects very well. The line queue, I believe we have a video of it already up on Shaq News YouTube, is really staggering. I compared it to like Rise of the Resistance at the Disney parks, where it's like almost just being in the line is like an attraction in of itself, where they like recreate the Ministry of Magic to scale. We walked in there and saw a dude in tears, like just overwhelmed with emotion, like crying in his girlfriend's arms in the Ministry of Magic. I was like, I have never seen that at a theme park. But people were walking in and like screaming because it was like it's iconic location from the movies. You see Dumbledore.
I hear it in the POV video that Greg you edited and got uploaded. Like I was like, wow, people are like screaming and like losing their minds about how awesome this looks.
Nobody knew what to expect. Yeah, and again, they hide it really well. You walk in, it doesn't seem like you're going into this massive chamber. So that was really cool. I think the last one we haven't talked about was How to Train Your Dragon. Is the last of the four, although ironically I think it was the first one we saw. Very cool. This one's a bit past Greg and I's time. My brother loves those movies. I saw the first one, but I know that whole trilogy is like a very big hit with people.
Movies are fine. I don't hate the movies. They're fine.
Yeah.
People like them quite a bit. They obviously got a live action remake of the first one coming out this summer. But that one was cool. I ate a cone of mac and cheese. It was like a breaded cone with mac and cheese inside and then goldfish crackers on top. So that was an experience.
What?
Like the heaviest thing you could eat on a roller coaster.
That sounds like a dangerous game there.
It is. It is. You're gambling. All the food there is super heavy. You're gambling every single time. Let's go on Stardusters after eating the.
You guys buried the lead. You went to Super Nintendo World without me, right? So,
again.
True.
This is like the 18th time a Shaq staffer has been at a Super Nintendo World without me. So at this point, I'm just very offended. But did you eat the banana split?
Yeah, the DK thing. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think I'm not talking about the Donkey Kong?
I just like right before we started, I finished the review of it and put it in Slack for you to approve.
Oh, really?
Oh, got a review.
Yeah, I did.
Nice. So for the folks listening here, how is it?
It's good. Like it tastes so. It's a banana. Like they call it a banana pineapple float, and it has pineapple soda on the bottom, and then a waffle cone, and then half and half pineapple and banana soft serve with toffee sprinkles and caramel corn.
That's a lot.
So it's a lot. But like,
I don't like pineapple. So that's
okay. You don't like pineapple. You ever done the Dole Whip stuff? Because it tastes a lot like the Dole Whip. It's like kind of famous.
You might have to dodge that one.
I'll probably dodge it. I mean, I'm too old to eat that shit anyway. But I remember. I think Miyamoto showed off Donkey Kong Country in Japan at the Osaka location, and that was the two reveals they did were like, here's Donkey Kong in this suit, and here's this crazy banana split thing, and I was just like, that's ridiculous. But it is. It's like it's the kind of thing though, Donovan, that like you get that one time so you can take the picture and make the video and post it to social, right?
Yeah. And they give you a commemorative mug if you I think it's like an extra $2 over, you get like the DK barrel mug, which I think Greg has. Yeah.
Those are cool. Yeah, I like stuff like that where you do get like a collectible with it. How much did it cost?
$18.99.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I guess, you know.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Theme park prices.
Theme park, it's like 150% more than it would be outside the theme park, almost always. Like, even for like something basic, like an ice cream cone or a hot dog, they like charge you like $8 for a hot dog.
We kept joking, like I was like, do the there's this thing where you take the picture and throw it in the garbage.
Well, yeah, because we had a point where we're like, again, we're looking. They did a lot of it was complimentary for us, but there was so much like junk food and like weird soda flavors and like pastries and stuff that we're at the point where we're trying and we're like, all right, man, like I don't know if I'm gonna eat this whole thing. Like we're gonna get the review. Like I don't know if I could finish this.
I saw Jeff Keighley posted a picture of the cash register. I think it was at Super Nintendo World.
Yep.
And it was like the register said like $3,250, and Jeff implied that he was paying for everyone, but
no, the cashiers were keeping a running tab so that they could charge the company or whatever.
Nintendo when this was all done. Universal,
Or just get an idea of how much it cost, right, for the previews.
Yeah. Accounting, like, so they can be like, this is how much it costs to do this event. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so they can have better metrics.
Hundreds of people walking through getting free $23 drinks and whatnot. So, we also rode the DK minecart ride, which was an experience.
So it's funny, Donovan. I've read a couple reviews, and they all say the same thing. It's a little janky. They're like, it's a little like rumbly. It's not like smooth.
I'm still torn about because it feels like it's intentional because you are supposed to be like on a mine cart that's going off the track. So I feel like you're supposed to have that weird like rumbly shaking around feeling. It just doesn't feel good.
No,
it's not pleasant.
You know what feels good? Roller coasters that don't shake the shit out of you.
No, that's why the wing gliders ride, the roller coaster, is like highly rated because it's so smooth. And you go on that.
We love the How to Train Your Dragon roller coaster. That one,
it's amazing. And if you go on minecart, you're like shaking. And you're like, my back. And Donovan was fine because he's not 40, but like my back was killing me after that ride.
Well, like we have an amusement park here in Ohio called Cedar Point, and it's home to like a lot of record-setting coasters. And I think at one point we had the largest wooden roller coaster in the world, and it was called the Mean Streak. And that was like its characteristic, Tom, was that it was a bumpy ride. And like we're like after like I don't know, after 8 years of riding that thing, we were all like, you know what? We're not gonna ride this anymore. It sucks. I'd rather ride like a smooth coaster that goes up really high and fast, you know. I feel like that's a miss on their part. Greg, you've done, I don't know, Donovan, have you done the Mario Kart ride at Super Nintendo World?
We did that one, yeah. We did the Mario Kart right here.
What did you think of that?
It was cool. I enjoyed it. I like the line was cool where you're going through like the cast and you're seeing all like the Mario, like actual carts and artwork of the characters and stuff. I thought was really fun to look at. The walking in, like the line, like you're talking about. Yeah, the queue is very cool. I remember that from Greg, your video in California. Yeah, the ride stuff is cool. I mean, I like it. It's it's got like the AR component where you like put the screen over your visor and then you're like shooting at characters and whatnot. It's a cool ride to have on a hot day because you're in like a dark room getting spun around a bunch.
It seems like
Donovan didn't want to do it again. He didn't want to go. He was like,
I did not want to get on the second time.
Yeah, that's fair. But like it seems like they're bringing inspiration from that to Mario Party Jamboree. Have you seen that new mode with the mouse gameplay for Switch 2?
Oh, wait, I don't know if I have.
You're like riding a roller coaster and you have to shoot stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did see that one. Yeah, it does have that same kind of vibe, like the on-rails shooter sort of. That's kind of what it feels like.
How do you aim on the ride?
You look.
It's all look-based?
Yeah.
How do you shoot?
You have a button to fire, and then it's just like whatever your visor is pointed at. As you look around,
what is that? There's like a Toy Story ride, Greg. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it's Boardwalk something.
With
Boardwalk.
Buzz Lightyear, right?
It's not like Astro Blasters. Astro Blasters is like you actually have like little targets you hit without a visor.
Yeah.
It's Boardwalk Academy or Boardwalk Games.
It sounds kind of like that.
Kind of, but it's more AR.
It's more AR.
Clean. It's not as clean. It's more. It's still janky.
And it's a translucent screen, right? Like it's not. it's not full occlusion, so it's not gonna be all high res or anything. And it has to be has to be a visor that they can interchange with different head sizes too. So yeah, it's probably a challenge to create a good experience like that.
It's still cool.
I like that they're trying.
Cool tech. Yeah.
I like that they're trying to do innovative things, like the idea of a roller coaster that actually goes off of the track. In concept, that sounded cool. Is that element interesting, or is the whole ride kind of ass?
I like that.
The perspective is interesting. I think they missed the mark on. There's some more to be done on the actual landing on it, like maybe a sound effect, or maybe the cart can actually like shift and like you're hitting the thing instead of just like vibrate. It vibrates a lot, but like not in a way that I was expecting. I'm expecting like more like it hits the track, goes clang, then like maybe there's a little bit of resistance, when you hit the track, but it just kind of, it's a cool perspective. It's a trippy perspective.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought it was fine. There's a part early on where they make you look like you're about to like crash head on into a minecart that has like DK in it. And that got me for a moment. They have a couple of cool moments on it.
So it's like head on and then you like dip or something?
Yeah, you like swerve at the last second. You see Dixie Kong. I think she's the first character that appears on the roller coaster.
Dixie, she's some love. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I saw Cranky Kong is there in the line queue, right?
Yep, right towards the end.
That's cool. And that I can't remember what the bird's called, Squawk or whatever. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what was your favorite universe?
Ooh. Overall, God, it might just be Dark Universe for me. It's just so unique. It's just nothing like that is at any theme park. And
my God,
I love horror movies.
You guys posted in our Discord a picture of Donovan eating this. This is that mac and cheese with the gold ketchup.
Yeah.
Oh God,
that is a horrific
picture of me.
That might be the worst picture I've ever seen of you, Donovan.
That's the kind of thing that you like. You just die with that in your camera roll.
That is a malicious photo.
Greg was being mean there.
There's two things I want to clear in this Discord. Is one, that's a great picture of Donovan eating the cone. Two, don't fuck with me. I have so much video.
Greg has a lot of video of me. I'll just say that.
Yeah, but it's good though. I mean, I just think that what kind of just kept coming back to me throughout the whole experience over the 3 days we were there is just like there's just so much work that goes into like every aspect of those experiences.
Yeah.
Like the food alone, and I'm not the biggest foodie, but I mean you could write a whole blog about just like the drinks at Mario World where they've got the little star-shaped bubbles in them, and then at Dark Universe we had like cheese bites, but they were supposed to be burned, so they were like black and like charcoaly, but they were actually warm and spicy. And it
seemed like both Harry Potter and How to Train Your Dragon universes, Donovan, they had like extensive dessert offerings, right?
Yeah.
Like, sweets are big at theme parks.
I was just like blown away though, but like they're like those were like gourmet level, Greg. Like they were actually like really like they seemed very well made. So yeah, like to your point, Donovan, like sourcing all of that and having the talent that can make that, having to hire the talent and the support staff, and like these are industrial kitchens. They're like big like restaurant style kitchens that you have to spin up with like actual high quality product. Yeah, I thought that was actually some of the most impressive stuff that I saw in your videos. Was like the food looked awesome, although probably very expensive.
A pretzel's like $14, so or $12, like that. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it's
can't blame that on tariffs either. That's just pretzels.
That's theme park prices. Still not as bad as California prices. I want to say, like I'm used to that stuff out here.
No state income tax in Florida, Greg.
I think it's other ways, but it's
property tax.
But like, there's a lot of cool food there. The Dark Universe land is great. Like, it is a really cool like gothic architecture. The fantasy.
I like that they're doing that because that is like their origin, right? Like that's like some of their earliest IP. That's cool that they're celebrating that stuff.
Classic Hollywood stuff. Yeah, so much was built on those characters and universes. And also, I mean, we live streamed a bit during the grand opening. Greg bantered for what felt like 15 minutes straight with an actor at Dark Universe who was obviously part of the show. But I believe he said his name was Gregor, and he was like a werewolf hunter. We walk into like a tavern where they've got like the alien from The Thing is like mounted on the wall, and like a werewolf head is mounted on the wall, and they sell like I drink like a soda out of a potion bottle. We walk in there, and the guy immediately comes up to us and he's like, "Hey, did you check for bites? Like roll your sleeves up for me, all that." We're looking, we're like, "No, we're good. Like no werewolf scratches." He asked me about Greg, and I'm like, now that I think about it, I've never really seen the guy under a full moon. And then he gets on Greg's case about like him having the characteristics of a werewolf and like the hairy arms and whatnot. And Greg starts accusing him, and the guy pulls his hood down, he's bald and he's got like a slash scar on his scalp, and he's like, "Oh no, I hunt werewolves." And they just go back and forth on stream for a while, and it was one of those cool theme park moments. I'm like, this could only happen here.
I gotta say though, Greg, you are very werewolf-like.
I know. I was starting to believe it. He was
you are. You know, you got your beard, right? And then you're kind of werewolf-like. I can see it. Mm-hmm. And I also haven't seen him under a full. Look, I'm not trying to judge him and put him on blast for being a hairy dude, because I'm a hairy dude, but not as hairy as Greg. Obviously, if Greg walks in. If there's a werewolf hunter in a bar and Greg walks in next to Donovan, if I'm the werewolf hunter, I'm questioning Greg, not Donovan.
Yeah. If I didn't shave my back and I bent over, it looked like I'm wearing shorts. I swear, like that's how bad it is. Yeah, it's bad. You're absolutely right.
Future 100%. Cosplay, Greg. Future cosplay opportunity.
Need to wear shorts.
There you go.
But no, that's the thing about Universal is like they have those characters that will interact with you, and
that's cool.
Some do have like helpers attached, like the Mario people. If you're in a big costume they can't see, they have like wranglers. But most of those characters are just like out doing things. And you don't really see that at Disney. They always have like a wrangler you have standing in line. Like there's a lot more interaction, more like theater play, like live theater, like back and forth. Have you ever been to one of those like? Those what do they call? They do. There's like speakeasy. There was one in San Francisco. It was a speakeasy, and like you're part of the play. Like you walk in and you play a character and you interact with people in like a live stage.
Interactive theater, like theater of life.
Super cool. Like I love that stuff, but it's very expensive and it doesn't run 12 months out of the year. So like you have to like.
Be there
but they do that there, and it's fantastic. And Universal is all for like cosplaying. Like they won't kick you out. Disney's a lot more strict on it than Universal is. Universal what encourages you to dress up almost for certain things.
Back when I lived in SoCal, I went to Disneyland on Dapper Day. Never again. Everyone was dressed like a newsie, Joe. It was hell. It was my personal hell. Yeah. And they're all talking. They're all talking like they were in the 19 whatevers. Yeah.
I mean, one more thing before I forget. They had freaking Danny Elfman compose an original score for this park, for Dark Universe specifically.
That's cool.
It's like the ambient, like creepy horror music you hear. It's like a Danny Elfman score. That's like not from a movie. He made it for this park. It's just every part of that experience just feels so finely crafted to the
Greg,
the
you posted an interview with Universal talking about Super Nintendo World and how important music was to them, getting the Donkey Kong music right. The thing that I noticed about Donkey Kong Country there, that's the old character model for Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it the rare? It's the rare one.
Yeah, that is not.
Yeah.
That's maybe they're gonna Donkey Kong see, because sometimes they'll flip it. Like if the game does well and they make the movie does even better, they'll do that change that they do. They do an IP change with all the art.
I think they're gonna have to.
Production timelines. I mean, they've been working on this park for years and years.
That's the problem. They've probably been working on this for 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And Donkey Kong Bonanza has probably only been in development for like the past 2 or 3. At least publicly.
That park started development like previs in 2018.
Yeah.
So several years it took him to get start to finish.
And you know how long Nintendo takes to do anything. Like so that it's probably been revised several times. But like it is kind of striking now because like you see the Mario Kart footage that Nintendo's posting, or you see like the Mario movie, right? Or then you see Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it's like Donkey Kong is definitely going back to his older look, not the rare look. I thought that was interesting. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we had a hell of a time, though. There was so many moments where me and Greg stopped and looked at each other and was like, this is just awesome to be here and experience all this. I've been Universal on a few family vacations growing up, getting to experience it, like, in this environment with all those people. It was really cool. Even the grand opening ceremony we watched, they had a huge fireworks show. They played, like, remixed Super Nintendo music. They had a cool, like, drone show in the sky. It was very much unlike anything I've covered professionally. So
I haven't ever been to this kind of event, but there's this, like, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this. Walt Disney, his zombie might come and get me. There's this, like, super rich person pass that you can get at Disneyland where you have, like, your own Disney employee that, like, takes you through the park.
Yes.
And you get to go through all the tunnels and, like, the back, like, the shortcuts in the lines, and you also get to go to the front of every line.
Yes, they have multiple packages, not just one. There's multiple ones like that. I think there's like a $10,000 one. There's like a $20,000 one. Then there's like a $100,000 one. $100,000 one's like if you're Beyonce, like that's what you get.
I did not do the Beyonce package.
Okay,
Something tells me
nobody
Beyonce does not have to buy
Beyonce
theme park
baggage
tickets.
except for like the top 1%. Oh yeah, so
I have a feeling
tells
she
me
does not have to pay
Beyonce's
for theme park tickets.
They're probably comping her the Beyonce package.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
and then they'll have her be part of the parade or something. You know what I mean? But no, like I did that, and that was like the closest I've ever felt to what you're talking about, Donovan. Where it's like, wow, like this is cool. Although I also was like super apologetic to everyone that we cut in line because I was like, this is fucking weird. I don't like this.
See, okay, I'm gonna I'll put Greg on blast here. He probably doesn't care, but we deferred on this pretty strongly because they gave us like the VIP tour thing because we got to also see the old parks. Greg missed us because he was flying in a little late, but they took us to like Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios, like the old classic parks, and they did that. They gave us like the VIP tour where they kept taking us back to the employee areas, and we would just pop out through like an electrical tunnel like at the entrance to a ride, and I felt bad. I was like, I've been to theme parks. I know how it feels to wait 2.5 hours in line for something.
And then you see these assholes come out of a door and they just cut you. You're like, are you serious? I've been here for 3 hours waiting to get on Space Mountain. Yeah,
I'm like, I definitely felt like a privileged asshole every time I did that. Greg, on the other hand, was like, give it to me. He was like, it's great. He relished in it, but I was like,
I was annoyed because the people I was with, they didn't want to do Space Mountain more than once. I was like, if I could just ride Space Mountain all day like this, I would. I love Space Mountain. But yeah, like we went on the stupid submarine. And
Universal is actually a lot more reasonable in that regard. Like you can do one of those VIP packages, and they're like, I think I haven't checked in a while. Last time I checked, they were like $260 a person, which is expensive. But like Disneyland, it's like it's $10,000, and you're supposed to split it between like 5 families, and like that's how people afford it, right? Like or it's 15,000 per day or whatever. They split it.
No way. It's not 5 families, Greg. It's less. It's like 7 people.
It's like it's a group thing, but you're supposed to split it. Is the idea? Yeah.
There's
a group limit. I don't know what the group limit is at Disney.
It was like 7 or 8. I remember it was a very specific number that I did get to meet Chewbacca. That was neat.
Nice.
Got me Chewie.
There's one part of like the VIP quote, experience that they need to like immediately find a way to extend to every park guest. Something they would do is that every time they took us to a ride, they would stop, and before we got on it, they would like explain to us the intensity of it. They'd tell you what happened on it. They were giving us like ratings. They were comparing it to other rides. And I personally am very much not a roller coaster person. I watched Final Destination 3 in theaters when I was 8 years old, and it scarred me for life. Yeah, before last week, I hadn't been on a roller coaster since I was 16. I don't do them, but I did it for this because we were at this cool once in a lifetime event. Sure. But rides that I had passed up on family vacations that I thought would be like nightmarish. The employee's like, oh yeah, this is like a 6 out of 10. It's medium intensity. Doesn't go upside down. It takes off at like 50 miles per hour. Very doable. I got on. It was fun. And I'm like, gee, I wish there was like a sign for every guest that just went, hey, on an intensity scale, this one's like a 6 out of 10. You could ride this. If you're like just a normal person, you're not like a daredevil.
Yeah, that should be at the front of every line. Just tell you, like, there's like, you have to be this tall to ride. Put it on that sign.
Yeah.
They put it on a sign. I'll show you a picture. I'll put it to you. Sure.
That's cool, though. I do like that they were doing that, Donovan. That they did something similar on my tour. Because, like some people didn't want to go on Space Mountain. Some people, we had like kids with us. So, like, some kids were afraid of the submarine.
Fair. Yeah.
Which I kind of understand. Submarines are kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, we didn't get on everything. There was one roller coaster that they said was extremely intense that I did not get on.
Starlight Drifters or Starlight Riders? Or?
Stardust Racers is what it was. Like a twin coaster where there's 2 tracks that interweave and flip upside down and shit.
Well, I guess I'm going to cancel the Shack News Cedar Point getaway because all it is, it's just roller coaster heaven, Donovan. But to you, it might be hell.
I mean... I have no shame in standing on the ground and holding bags and eating like funnel cake. Yeah, I'll be perfectly fine.
There's plenty of funnel cake. Do you do like power towers or anything? Those like drop rides, or do those freak you out too?
God, no. No, see, those are in a way those are almost worse to me because I'm like, there's not even an experience there. You're just like injecting adrenaline, just directly.
I think you mentioned adrenaline. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes was there. You guys were in the presence of Cody Rhodes. How was that? Did you get to see him?
That dude's tall.
Yeah.
It was, really so like, most of the time we were there was media, but like the actual opening night ceremony where they had the park open from like 6 to 10 p.m. was like the grand opening. And that's where they had the celebrities. This was the blue carpet. There were a shit ton of like VIP badges. I saw a lot of celebrities on social media. I didn't see any in real life. I saw Cody Rhodes was there. A bunch of wrestlers were there. I think Adam Cole was there. Brie Larson.
They have like a huge presence in Tampa.
I did I did see Brooke Lopez, NBA champion.
That's right.
Brooke Lopez with his family at a Harry Potter world. He was like pushing strollers with his wife. And kid,
hard to miss. He's like a 7-footer, right? Or 6'11".
Well, I see him in my brain's immediately like, shit, is that Brooke or Robin Lopez? I didn't remember which one had the short hair, so I'd like search over code like, hey, that's Brooke Lopez. And I didn't stop him, but I was telling girls like that guy just won an NBA championship like 3 years ago with Giannis in Milwaukee. But apparently he's like a big team guy. Yeah, seriously.
What ball is it? What's the shape?
That's cool. Yeah, it sounds like you guys had a great time.
It was awesome.
I'm guessing you haven't had much time to play video games in the past week.
Not too much, no. I told Joe that I did play a little bit of Repo with some friends, which is that like co-op multiplayer horror game. It's kind of become like a subgenre at this point, where we've had like the what was the content warning was one.
Phasmophobia? Or no?
Phasmophobia was like earlier on in that sphere, but it's like the indie 4-player co-op horror games. They like one goes viral every year. Repo's like that in 2025. It's cool. It's like you're essentially trying to extract value from like different abandoned locations. So you're like these weird little, almost like a 3D Among Us looking characters, and you go into like a house and you have like a cart and you're like grabbing like.
I've seen some streams of that. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. It's one of those games where it kind of just births viral moments because it's a horror game, but it also uses proximity chat. So you're like, you're walking around the corridors, like humming to yourself, and then your buddy's voice cuts out behind you, and you turn around and you see like Slender Man climbing on the ceiling or something. Yeah,
it just came to me. My youngest nephew's really into it. Him and his friend group have been playing it a lot.
Yeah. It's good fun.
Cool.
Had a good time with it, yeah.
And then, Greg, the thing you've been playing most is Adobe Creative Suite.
Adobe Creative, yeah, it's the number one game. It's got 50,000 hours on it. No, I've just been editing all the Universal stuff. It's going to go up hopefully by tomorrow. So that's been like what my goal is this week, because next week it's all chaos.
Other stuff.
Chaos unfolds.
Other things. It's
chaos unfolds tomorrow and next week.
That's right. So, Joe, you did play a video game. You, Mr. PC Gamer here. How? First of all, how's the PC treating you? You're a few weeks in now, right?
Yeah, I would say I forced myself to get past the coil wine situation. I'm just kind of taking it at face value. Nothing I can do about it.
Is this because you have a liquid-cooled computer, or what is going on there?
No, it's just this phenomenon of running electricity through your GPU, or really, I guess, any component it can happen to, and kind of just happens. And as I understand it too, it's just a kind of a lottery. And what are you going to do? And it's, it's only when I'm like really pushing like a 4K high frame rate thing, which I don't.
That's going to happen.
I don't need to do that. So so I led with the negative, because otherwise I love it. It's great. No regrets. I've made it.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
You're making me jealous, because Joe has a better computer than me. That bothers me. Because he's getting to play all these sweet games like Clair Obscura. Or Clair Obscur.
Yeah. Obscure, yes.
Expedition 33, right?
Expedition 33 is the subtitle. Yeah. I think it's quite good. I don't have more than last week to say about it. It's
just that you're playing it.
Yeah, and that it's longer than people are saying. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's short." It's like one of these like non-fluffy games. I'm not claiming that it's fluffed out or padded, but it is long. It's quite long.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's short compared to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but no, it's not a short video game.
Short in terms of RPG, maybe, right, Lingo? That's the...
Yeah, but like maybe. Like I feel like I'm headed towards 50 plus, so I don't know.
I guess it's shorter than Rebirth.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yes, to Donovan's credit, that's the right, that's the right comparison, because nothing's longer than that one. Maybe Witcher 3, I guess. I don't know. That's me. Asif, what are you playing?
Well, I can't talk about some things that I've been playing recently, but I'll talk about them next week. How about that? Although I am still playing Doom, and boy, do I like Doom: The Dark Ages. It's just fun. I don't know. It's escalating, right? So it's like you come across like this big bad in level 3, and you're like, oh man, I don't know how they're gonna outdo that. And then it's like 5 levels later, you have to fight like 8 of them. You know what I mean? You're like, oh shit. Wow. I love the chaos. I love the beautiful chaos of that game. It's great. It is sitting very high on my game of the year list right now. And yeah, I'm also playing Blueprints when I have the opportunity. It's kind of become my like winding down at night kind of game. I posted a screenshot in chat.
What's the latest? Where's your head at?
I'm on day 23. I found the foundation since the last episode, Joe, I think, and I didn't understand that when I place the foundation, it's permanent on the board.
How could you understand that? Because they don't tell you that.
No. So like that sucked. I'm looking at your foundation, and you've chosen well. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm not sure why, but okay. I found a computer disk, Joe, and I was actually smart with it, and I went to the coat check room when I ran out of doorways to open, so I left it in my coat check, and then I was lucky, and I got a coat check in my next run, and I got the disk, and I rolled security, so I was able to go to, I think you can go to any computer terminal and use it, but I went to the security computer terminal, and I was able to upgrade my closet tile. So now when I go to the closet, it has like one extra item than it would have before. Right. I also I think I upgraded another room. I upgraded like one of the bedrooms so that like it gives you it like altered it where like you got more steps based on how many bedrooms you've already built in your run. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. It's luck. This game is luck. I'm sorry. It comes down to luck, right? Like, it is. Yeah. And so how do you feel about that? It's frustrating as fuck, dude. Like, it's really fucking frustrating. Because, like, you look at this build that I posted in the screenshot of today, and I was around that stupid, whatever the fuck that room is at the top of the level, which I still haven't gotten in, Joe. I don't fucking know what I'm doing. When I get there, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. So it's frustrating. But then like I run out of keys, or I run out of, in this case, I didn't have the, I didn't get the utility closet until very late in my run, and I was out of keys. So like I didn't have, I wasn't able to turn off the security doors in time to actually take advantage of finally getting the utility closet. Right. Yeah. Cause like you see, it was all the way down the bottom right. Like, I had exhausted everything up top, and then I went all the way back to the bottom right of the level and tried to find something. And I was just kind of crossing my fingers that I would roll something that had a key or whatever, and I just ran out of keys. So I got screwed over in the dark room. So that was frustrating. I hate the red rooms, man. I hate them. They're shitty. Like they're like never good. Yeah, that's the idea. I got this. What is the deal with the Great Hall? Like, that is absurd.
Is that with the Great Hall?
I'm sorry. Like, is it just designed to eat keys, or is it worth unlocking all those doors, Joe?
It is designed. It is by definition always locked on all 6 doors, 7 doors.
Yeah, it's like I think it's 7.
Yeah, 7. Three on each side and 1 in front of you.
Yeah.
And yes. As a rule, they are all locked. So that's kind of a last case scenario. That's like a last resort kind of tile that you want to play.
Because like sometimes you open one of the doors on the side and there's like another key behind the door, and you're like, okay, that's funny. Fine. But yeah, this run that I posted, I had 82 steps. I reached rank 9. I had 29 rooms, 5 bedrooms. I had the garage again. I feel like I'm getting somewhere, but like it's just, there's so much luck involved, dude. Like so much. And there's some rooms that are like mostly harmless, but I kind of hate them. The conference room is kind of becoming that for me, because like it disincentivizes building rooms where there's going to be stuff in them, because the stuff ends up in the conference room, and then you have to walk all the way back to the conference room to get the stuff. It's stupid.
That's right. Yeah.
I hate that room. Like, what's the point of that? Like, what is the point of that room? It's like the opposite of the maid's quarter, but like it's still frustrating because God help you if you put the conference room like earlier. I guess maybe it doesn't appear early in your run, but like I know it's all based on like what level you are and where you are in the house.
Yeah, what rank you're at. Yeah. Some
rooms spawn on the left side, some rooms spawn on the right or whatever. Like, but yeah, I'm getting frustrated by this game. I rarely play more than one day in a day. Like it's like I play one day and I go on with my life. Unless it's like really short.
That's kind of a good approach, honestly.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm gonna get too pissed off. so I'm trying not to do that. But yeah, it is a very well made game. But I'll just say, I feel like Balatro is less luck than this.
Balatro is less.
It requires less luck to succeed,
right?
Yeah, it's less offensive than this game. This game, like, it feels like it's being mean to me at times, especially when it's like you get the freaking archives, right? And then it's like, oh, well, now you only know 2 of your rooms, and then that's like the 2 that they show you. Oh, both those require gems. You don't have any gems, so it's like you have to pick the one you don't know what it is, and then it's a freaking dead end. Like, oh, that's frustrating. I did see a hole. I did see a hole in the ground in the foundation. I thought that was interesting. I got a sledgehammer.
So that's relevant to why I said you've placed it well.
Oh, okay. I found a sledgehammer, and I learned that you could take a sledgehammer to all the locks on those chests. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I'll never use a key on a chest anymore if I know that I can get a sledgehammer.
It's funny you say that, because I definitely had a sledgehammer before I knew what it did, and wasted some keys. I was listening to Side Story podcast, I think it's called. It's the old Waypoint Guys podcast. And they did a full 3-hour spoiler cast, and I just decided I'm done with Blueprints because of all the frustration you're describing.
Yeah, sure.
And holy cow, I haven't seen a fourth of this game.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I get the impression that there's a lot more to this game than I've seen, for sure. And that's why I keep playing it. I think it's really masterfully designed, and the way they weave the narrative in a puzzle game is really interesting. That doesn't happen often. Like, the premise is interesting, right? You're trying to get your great uncle's inheritance or whatever, but like who your great uncle was and what he valued, all that's really interesting.
That's good that you find it interesting, because that's the game. It turns out.
Yeah.
So if you want to pull that thread, there is so much game.
Yeah.
For you.
I do.
Remaining.
I am enjoying it, but like I said, it pisses me off, and I have to put it down. And the way it's going right now is I put it down and I play Doom afterwards. Because isn't that the perfect yin and yang of video games right now? Play puzzle game, get angry, take it out on demons. And there's that, but you've also picked literal motion sickness, the fastest game I've ever played, paired against the most combatless game I've ever played. Sure.
Those two, right?
I mean, I am a diverse gamer who likes all sorts of games. But yeah, this is the second week in a row, folks. I haven't played any F-Zero 99 last week.
Wow. That was wild.
Gasping. It's not that I'm done playing F-Zero 99. It's that Doom is living in that universe for me right now. That the sweaty button pressing and being intense gameplay.
Yep.
Doom is just living in that time for me right now. I love it. It's a great game.
That's great.
Will you be able to go back to older Doom games after playing with the Shield?
Sure. I love the original Doom, and I love Doom 2, Greg. Those are games I can go back to whenever. I don't care for Doom 3. I don't really go back and play Doom 2016. I beat it. I was done.
Well, that's what I meant. The modern Doom games, the second.
I didn't even like Eternal, Greg. I didn't beat Eternal. So
yeah, Eternal was very divisive. I remember coming out as very divisive.
It's too much platform puzzling and not enough blowing up shit. This is it's more like I don't want them to take the shield away from me in the next game because I love it so much.
Right, that's what David said in his review, that it's hard, it's like Skyrim. It's hard to go play Oblivion after playing so much Skyrim because the two-hand system is just much more intuitive and funner to play than the same. Now they've introduced the shield, and the shield feels so good in this game. Not having it in the next one would be very weird.
It's also really weird though, Greg, because this is a prequel that takes place I don't know, thousands of years before Doom 2016. So it's possible that they do a sequel where it's the Dark Ages still, right? You could still be this guy. Because this is technically a prequel, right? So they could do, I don't know, 3 prequels or something. I don't know. I kind of think that the more I play Doom the Dark Ages, I'm this could have been a Quake game. I still feel that way. I wish they cared about the Quake franchise, but I don't. I don't know where things are going, Greg, for the Doom franchise after this. I think that's a good question. But like for me, if they don't have the shield in the next game, I'll be fine with it because they'll probably have figured out something else to do. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
what I love about the shield and I loved about the glory kill mechanic in 16 was it created like it's called a battle chess, right? It's like this set of rules that inform the gameplay, right? And I liked the flow of 2016. I disliked the flow of Eternal, even though most people like who do like it, they like the strategy and the variable. Like if you listen to last week's episode where Sam was shitting all over Doom, he was like, I don't like that you can kill everything with a super shotgun. I'm like, I do like that. You know what I mean? It's like 1 and 0. It's very binary. It's like neither of us disagreed on like what the game was. It's just that the points of emphasis didn't hit for Sam, but they did for me. And that was the opposite. Not with Sam. I don't think he's played Doom Eternal, but that was the opposite in Doom Eternal for me. Like the battle chess in Doom Eternal did not land with me. So for me, it's not like, oh, they have to have the shield. It's more that it has to be compelling gameplay, right? And the thing I love about I'm playing Doom on my Xbox Series X, and I was praising that the suspend feature, Joe, last episode.
Yeah. Zoom, baby.
This is why I should never say anything nice about Microsoft.
Uh-oh.
Because guess what happened? The game patched and it breaks the auto resume.
That's right. Yep.
So anyway, I take back what the nice thing I said last week.
I like that feature a lot for Clair Obscur.
It's cool. I like it, Donovan. It's a good feature. But that's the one thing that makes it kind of ass.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh man, I had to like kind of start over in an area. But it was
There's a setting in this is all, you shouldn't have to do this, of course. I'm not trying to play defense for Xbox here, but there is a setting that tells Xbox to not perform updates without your say so, and then that doesn't happen anymore. Yeah.
Because we all know Microsoft loves listening to you about updates. Sure. You know how Windows is constantly harassing you to update. Like
they do, yeah.
Windows is so oppressive about its updates, and like they move the button around from time to time. So if you like you get used to hitting snooze, they'll like flip it, and you're like, God damn it. Anyway, I've seen screenshots of Windows 11, dude. I'm terrified. Like, have you seen the CPU spikes going on just from the start menu usage?
Jesus.
Apparently, I've turned all of like the high quality rendering off, so maybe I'm avoiding it. I'm not sure.
But you had to turn off high quality rendering of a fucking start menu.
I mean, again, I'm not playing defense. It's ridiculous, but yeah, I did do that.
It's just an absurd thing. I'm like, how do you fuck up the start menu? Like, that's like fucking up command prompt. Anyway.
It reminded me, like, my memory. The last time I used Windows was 2011, maybe 12, and I was playing a lot of League of Legends, and I remember gauging the health of my PC back then by right-clicking on the desktop and seeing how long it took for that little menu to pop up. Because that always seems to be a curveball for Windows. So like every time I boot up now, I'm right-clicking the desktop and like, okay, half a second, that's fine.
That is a really funny metric. It is very true. Huh. Yeah, I'm on a very old computer now, so my right click to showing up rate is probably 8 times that of yours.
I'm curious take note of it. I'm curious what it is.
You have to do it like right when you start up, right?
My Windows experience says you can always throw that curveball. Windows is like, oh, you want to see that menu? Oh, I'm sorry, So I think you can always do it.
No, most of us here have lived through terrible upgrades to OSs on the Mac side and on the Windows side, like catastrophic ones as well too.
Yeah, Mac's no picnic either with the point upgrades that can be hairy, especially for someone that likes to use an audio interface. There's got to be no other thing that plays worse with a new update.
Joe, you'll appreciate this. I was at a post house and their entire server room was running off Windows 97 and they couldn't update. Like they couldn't, to redo everything would have cost them millions of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So because the infrastructure is built up from that, and then it stops getting supported, and then they're just stuck and they can't do anything. Yeah.
Yep. Last time I worked at a recording studio, it's been many years now, but whatever the contemporary OS then was, like Big Sur, if you recall, like 10 years ago or something.
Sure. And
they were like 13 years back. They're like, we are freezing our studio in time. Pro Tools launches. End of story. You know, and it did work for the most part.
That is very much where I am at with this desktop I'm talking to you on, but it's not going to make the transition over to 11. So like I am coming to this point of no return where I'm going to have to buy a computer this year.
I'm checking Amazon as we speak to see if, cause last episode they were in stock pretty across the board, and, seems also true today.
And you know what? NVIDIA learned absolutely nothing from the launch of the 50 series. They just reported almost $4 billion in gaming revenue in the quarter. So all the talk and everyone and all the Gamers Nexus art videos, like they're not doing shit. People are buying it. Like they just are. Yeah, and also they mentioned on the earnings report that Nintendo Switch 2 also contributed to that.
Complaining is free. That's the big difference.
Sure is.
That's nothing.
Especially on random Discords. But yeah, that's all I've been playing, Joe. Except I think you have a game for us coming up.
I sure do, and we will kick it off right after these messages. We are in the halcyon days, I suppose, of the Nintendo Switch, folks. And I guess, is that the right word? I don't know. It's the end of an era, and we're approaching a new era. But as we exit this first Switch 1 era, it felt appropriate to construct, each of us with a chisel and a hammer, our respective Mount Switchmores.
Oh.
And I know it is custom on this podcast to gamify everything, so I just want to say Hasmamu will be the judge and determine whose Mount Switchmore is most emblematic of the Nintendo Switch. So we'll have a victor, I suppose, in the coming days. But let me tell you a little bit about this exercise. Welcome to Mount Switchmore. Each guest will select 4 games from the provided Nintendo Switch list. I will paste that into our Discord for your
from the provided
viewing pleasure. Yeah, I mean it's just every first-party Nintendo Switch game.
Oh, okay.
Every single one.
I believe that was my intention. Yes.
Okay.
So each guest will select 4 games from the provided Nintendo Switch list that I'll give you, and you will match each game to a president. So we're not just picking 4 games. Here's how this will work.
Oh, God.
Hilarious.
You will pick a game to represent George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt. And you will do so by matching a video game title to the spirit of each of these presidents. I'll give you an example. George Washington.
Wow.
We will distill him, and slavery notwithstanding, there's dark history here. We all know that.
Slavery notwithstanding.
I think slavery notwithstanding might be the quote of the year on this podcast.
Put it on the back of the box. Put it on the back of the box.
Holy shit.
That's your box quote.
Holy shit. Slavery notwithstanding.
That's
this
it. I'm
guy really reminds me of Kirby.
Yeah.
This is outstanding already, Joe. You've hit a home run here.
This is great. This is great content. This game.
I will give you an example. George Washington, our foundational and first leader of the country. Which Nintendo first-party video game on the Nintendo Switch fits that description? So I won't give you an example because, that's for you to decide. But I think you understand where I'm saying. Thomas Jefferson was a visionary innovator. Which title best embodies that description? Abraham Lincoln, compassion, a reformer, undoing the deeds of Washington, you might say. And Theodore Roosevelt, energetic, adventurous. Which Nintendo first-party Switch game best resembles that description? Do you understand the task?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
This is a draft.
This message will self-destruct in 10 minutes.
So are we going to all go George Washington and then all go Thomas Jefferson? Is that how we're going to do it? Or
no, we don't have to do it that way.
It'll just be
you will be responsible for
all 4.
For all 4, yes. You can do it in whatever order.
This is going to be so hard.
I got a few already in my head that I'm going through.
I have a few in my head as well. I'm trying to assign, but this,
I'm struggling because like I can think of like 8 games. You know what I mean? That like should be.
Well, I'm going to give you the
Mount
games.
Rushmore.
I'm going to give you the games. Don't worry.
No, the games that I'm thinking of are on your list, Joe.
Okay.
No doubt. There's no doubt that they're on them.
Yeah.
All right. Games are in the chat. I would like each of you to DM me a number between 1 and 10. The closest to what's in my head gets first pick, and so on.
1 and 10 is what you said?
Yep.
It says I don't share server and it won't take the message. We're not friends, Joe.
Well, I already got their answer, so you could say it.
Yeah, just say it.
9.
Greg is first.
Ooh.
Donovan is second. Asif, you are third, which means you go third and fourth. We'll do Snake.
So wait, we can't overlap, like we're drafting, so if people take a game...
We're drafting. I will keep track and make sure nobody overlaps.
I'm going to steal one already. I'm going to steal the big one.
Right.
Everyone's going to hate me.
This is where Hasmamu comes in, and his judgment is going to really be decisive.
You really put Mario Kart Live Circuit on this list?
That's every game.
You said every first-party game.
I still have the car for that thing.
I do too, Donovan, but like, really? That's not on Mount. That's on Hall of Very Good. That's not even in the Hall of Very Good.
Somewhere out there is a 7-year-old who would put that game at their number 1 spot.
That's true.
Well, this was a lot of preamble.
Sure.
But I think we're ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, take it away, and be sure to tell us which leader you are corresponding your answer to as well.
Okay. Just my first one, I'm going to say, what imbues Teddy Roosevelt, right?
Okay.
I'd say Breath of the Wild. That's the one.
Yep.
Revolutionized that system. Set a new goal moving forward. Nothing will ever be the same again after that game.
Yeah, because Teddy Roosevelt was the first president.
I would have gone Washington with him, but it's your pick.
Yeah, okay.
Washington would have been the Zelda pick for me.
Yep.
I'm third pick, so I don't.
Slavery notwithstanding.
Slavery. That's good.
Those poor bokoblins.
You can also argue, like, what is it? World War II, right? You take us into World War II? I can't remember. Yeah, right? My history is...
California Education Network here.
I'm trying to remember. Yep. That's my first pick. I'll do Teddy Roosevelt and Breath of the Wild.
Okay, great. So Greg, Teddy Roosevelt.
Did you say he brought us into World War II, Greg?
Was it 1? I can't...
He served as president from 1901 to 1909.
Or the Great War.
That's 40 years before World War II. Anyway, Zelda, Link, good stuff.
Great.
Donovan, you have the next pick.
I do.
Picking Mario Odyssey, probably.
I am picking Super Mario Odyssey.
Wow.
Which I am going to... I'm between Roosevelt and Jefferson for this one. I'm going to say Teddy Roosevelt for this one. Just looking at the National Park Service website and how they speak of Theodore Roosevelt, our 26th president. He was known as the trust buster for his work to end large corporate monopolies and ensure the rights of the common working man. There are a lot of common working people in New Donk City. So there you go. Mario Odyssey is my favorite 3D Mario game, and I still think that the festival at New Donk City and the whole set piece with the Jump Up Superstar is one of the lasting memories of the Nintendo Switch era for me.
It's not just one of the lasting memories, it's one of the best video game moments ever.
It is. That was the first song I listened to. When Nintendo Music came out, that was the first song I listened to. It's so good. That's up there for me. That's the thing that I'll just watch on YouTube once a year.
Yeah. It's just such like a joyful moment in a video game. I love it. That's a good pick.
Great pick. Two great picks. Go ahead, Asif. You got 2 in a row.
Okay. What are we doing putting 1-2 Switch on this list next to everybody 1-2 Switch and Labo?
1-2 Switch could be your George Washington. It was a day 1 Switch game.
Yeah, sure.
It showed us what it felt like to roll 18 marbles around in a small box.
Well, factoring in slavery, I'm going to go with George Washington for my first pick here.
Okay.
And I'm going to say Animal Crossing New Horizons because of the way that Tom Nook kind of tricks you into building his vacation island is similar to slavery.
You're like
I have to respect the comparison.
You're like his indentured servant,
Yeah, right? So I would say that's pretty spot on for George Washington there, and also a high selling Switch, right? A game. So
I feel like also the colonization factor is
there you go.
Relevant.
You can make that argument. Yeah, that's good.
Also, you can build a fence around one of those animals on your island and literally trap them there. So torture them. There's all sorts of stuff. Okay, so that's my first pick.
Okay, good pick.
Man.
I won't get any back-to-back picks of this.
Are there more images than I'm seeing here? I see 3 images.
That's all I got.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking at the board, seeing if I'm missing any. I feel like if I don't pick this game, it's going to be gone.
It's a good tactic.
Time it comes around.
Who can say?
I'm going to pick for Teddy Roosevelt, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
There it is. You were correct. I would not have made it back to you. No. I was gonna take that if you didn't.
Yeah, I was like, it's honestly, I think it's the best video game ever made. So
pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So defend your Roosevelt position then.
It was all about exploring, right? Mm-hmm. And nature. I know, Tears as like the sky island, and and all the way down into the depths, like the whole having to lighten up the depths and stuff. Like, seems Roosevelty.
Roosevelt did discover the American depths as well.
Yeah, right.
The American depths.
Great.
Is that Cleveland?
Yeah, that's just Ohio at large. Yeah,
Ohio. Yeah.
I'm going to do Abraham Lincoln.
This is back to Donovan.
You said snake, right?
Yep.
I thought it was a snake.
You get 2.
Greg's first pick. That's right. So Donovan, you were second pick, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's yo-yoing back. I'm going to be in the middle every time.
Greg, you're going to have 2 picks next.
Okay.
Gorsh. I know a game I want to have on here, but I also feel like I can get away with taking it later.
Nobody's taking Clubhouse games.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to say Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I'm going to assign that game to couple ways I could go with this one. I'll say George Washington, because that game is literally older than the console I'm assigning it to.
Just like George Washington was born before the nation was founded.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yep.
That's great. That's all.
Yeah. There you go.
This is so stupid.
But you see, obviously now looking back, Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, those are the surefire bangers that like very early on solidified the Switch as a hit. But in an alternate universe where maybe those games weren't as great or weren't as warmly received, at least we knew Mario Kart was going to be good, because we knew that game was already good. So there you go. It walked in with the Nintendo flag. It was leading the charge. And boom, there you go. They literally made us play that game from 2017 to 2025.
I mean, I made you play it last year.
There you go. Yeah. I think that game lasted longer than George Washington's presidency as the newest Mario Kart game. So there you go.
A decade of, over a decade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great pick. Greg, you have 2 in a row.
Okay, so I'll do, I say the game first and then the president? Is that how that works?
Sure.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
However you want to do it, yeah.
I'm going to do Luigi's Mansion 3, Thomas Jefferson, because Luigi, he gets his own games sometimes, right? He's always part of Mario games. He's always a Mario Party and his Mario Kart, but like his core series only got like 3 games.
And wasn't Jefferson the 3rd president?
Ooh, I like that. That's good.
There you go. Yes, I meant that was my plan the whole time, actually.
Once again, California education at work here. But,
right. Declaration of Independence, and that's Luigi, and we love his games. Nicole really loves his games, and she always wants more of those Luigi's Mansions games. And we're so happy we got one on the Switch.
Yeah, you guys love that game. It's great. Mm-hmm. I love. I even the second one that came out was that last year. It was great.
Dark Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. The HD. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole loved that game too. Yeah, she really likes the game. Like watching her play those games.
Good pick.
Good pick. One more for you, Greg.
Oh, I'll do Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Fuck.
And then I'll do Abraham Lincoln.
I was literally writing my argument down. Damn you.
Because they were they freed Sora from the clutches of Disney to be put in their game.
They freed Sora.
That's hilarious. That's just hilarious.
They freed Sora.
The emancipation of Sora.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Gotta love to be a fly in the wall when they were talking to like Square and Disney. Even that conversation gotta be so interesting.
I mean,
that's good.
I mean, the thing. Okay, so I'm not gonna get to pick it. I still want to give a shout out to Smash Ultimate. Not the best Switch game. Probably not even a top 5 best Switch game, but probably the biggest consistent hype generator for at least 3 or 4 years. Where it was like every Nintendo Direct, every Summer Game Fest, E3, Game Awards thing, the DLC hype. People wanted to know the reveal trailers for every single character was so cool. Obviously, it all culminated in Sora. But even before you got there, those were the reaction videos you'd see on YouTube where people were screaming and jumping out of their chairs with Smash DLC reveals. And
I forgot I voted. Remember they had that vote online. I forgot I did that. Like everybody did because it was like 4 years ago when that happened.
No, it was after.
That was Smash 4.
Yeah, that was like after Smash 4, Greg. They said, "What do you want?" And
what do you want?
Yeah. That game defined like a good 3-year chunk of the Switch era, and I missed it once they finished.
I'll just add to that, Donovan. When we were on assignment and like going to places, Greg and I, and a lot of time Ozzy or whoever, as a staff, I don't think we played a game more for fun on the road than Smash Ultimate. Like I used to travel with a dock and multiple controllers because we were always playing Smash in the hotel room. So, it might not be the best game, but it's iconic.
Yeah, I mean, we were all there in the hotel at E3 2018 where they revealed Everyone Is Here, which is still like, I mean, it's one of the greatest video game trailers ever.
Yeah.
Smash Ultimate has at least 2 or 3 trailers I'd say are some of the best of that.
The Joker reveal at Jeff Awards.
Yeah.
The Donkey Kong, or not the Donkey, but when Donkey Kong and Diddy saw Banjo, that was.
I mean, the reveal trailer where Inkling's running around and looks up and the fire burning and it's the reflection of the Squid Kid's eye. It's the Smash logo. I mean, holy shit, that shit still makes like the hairs on my fucking arm stand up when I think about it.
Also, the World of Light, the intro to World of Light, I think is the best cinematic in the history of Nintendo. So yeah. There's a lot of great art in that game and in the promotion around it, no doubt. And shout out to Krista. She was leading that team, from the Kit and Krista pod. She led the PR team for Ultimate her whole career at Nintendo, and she crushed it. And if you hear her talk about it now, she's got PTSD from it. But I just want to tell her I appreciate what she did. Because, like you said, iconic moments, Donovan.
Yeah.
But you can't pick it because Greg stole it from
I can't, no.
If I didn't pick Zelda, one of you was going to pick it. But like I had the other 2 on my board that I was staring at were Kart and Smash.
We'll give you Mario Golf.
Fuck you. That game sucks.
Unfortunately, Greg taking Smash means I'm going to have to make a bit of a malicious pick here and take something that I feel like the person drafting after me might
Sorry,
pick.
go ahead. I almost cut you off. I thought it was Asif's turn. It is your turn. Go ahead, Donovan.
It's Donovan's turn.
I'm going to take Super Mario Maker 2.
Wow.
And I'm going to assign it.
Have you even built a level in that?
I have a level. Everybody beat it. It's like 80% of the people who played it beat it.
I know who's getting the next MMORPG from Korea to review.
I'm going to assign this to Thomas Jefferson, who,
correct.
For those who don't know, because I knew this, of course, purchased the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803, double the size of our nation, of course. Super Mario Maker 2 kind of like just broke the door wide open on user-generated content on Switch. Obviously, if you're making a list of like underrated Wii U games, because most people didn't own a Wii U, like Mario Maker's high on that list of like just great games that a lot of people just didn't play because they didn't have the hardware. And I think Super Mario Maker 2 was the perfect combination of an awesome game that Nintendo made during that dark period that now so many people could actually play and enjoy. And while in hindsight I wish that it had remained in like the main conversation a little longer, that was a really fun period where people were just like throwing level codes up on Twitter and on forums, and you were just jumping in and seeing what people had made, or all the like auto complete levels and stuff. And obviously here, Stack New Staff, we had a whole channel dedicated to just trying.
That is a game, Donovan, that is begging for a Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Get like some extra content in there.
Give us mouse support, and for the love of God, fix the online. But yeah, that was a good pick.
That's a good pick. I'm going to pick 2019.
A lot of that came from the Master Sword DLC, right? Because that was like a holy shit moment. Like, oh wow, we're making Zelda levels now. I I wish they did more with that. Like if there was like a Metroid maker, whatever. I don't know if we'll get a Switch 2 edition of it or if they're just working on Mario Maker 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like everyone asks, well, what would you do in Mario Maker 3? I'm like, well, wonder. Right. Anyway, so I'm going to do my next. These are my last 2 picks, right, Joe?
Yep.
Surprising no one.
Jefferson and Lincoln left.
Yeah, surprising no one. I'm taking F-099.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Abraham Lincoln. Because that freed me. Like from the decades of despair of an F-099 fan. But yeah, I just that moment in September of 23 is special. So yeah, F-099 is my Abraham Lincoln pick, which leaves me with, who do I have left?
Jefferson.
Okay, let me look at the board here.
Which game remaining is your visionary innovator?
That's a tough one, Joe, because a lot of my favorite, like, this is where I would have put Super Mario Maker. Right. So now I'm kind of looking around at the list right now to see if there's. I think I have it, but I just
always have Labo.
How dare you?
True. And not only do we have 1-2 Switch, we have everybody 1-2 Switch still on the board.
We have the sequel. Sequel's still available for grabs.
ARMS is also on the board.
Right.
Oh man,
is Part-Time UFO first party? I don't think it is. It's Hal.
Isn't that Hal? Isn't Hal first party?
No.
Well, I screwed up.
Okay. Because these jerks took some of my favorite games off the board already, I'm gonna take Super Mario Bros. Wonder, because I think the Wonder Flower was innovative, and like you said, Thomas Jefferson was a forward-thinking individual who, yes, he kept slaves, but yes, he had sex with them and procreated with them. Just like pollinating a wonder flower. I don't fucking know. There you go, Joe.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
This is what you did this.
I know.
Oh boy.
You opened the door for this, and I mean,
you opened the door.
I'm just saying, Thomas Jefferson be out there. He believed in equality to a certain extent.
To a certain extent, yes.
But no, I think Mario Wonder is an amazing game. Like, I gave it a 10. It's flawless. The music's outstanding. The Elephant Mario, it's great. Yeah, so those are my 4.
Great. We'll do a recap soon. Donovan, your final pick.
Joe, could you please give me the description for Abraham Lincoln one more time?
Oh, you're talking about Mr. Abraham Lincoln, a compassionate reformer?
Yes, it's that last word that I want to speak to, reformer. The Pokemon franchise was in a bit of a dire situation, I'd say, halfway through the Switch life cycle.
Yeah.
Took a couple years to show up to the party in full force, which they finally got there with Sword and Shield. But if you don't remember, those games were plagued with controversy. Hashtag Dexit was the conversation around those games. People were upset that they were just omitting Pokemon from the game, just straight up. You couldn't add them, you couldn't catch them. They just weren't going to be in there. It was the first time they were doing that in a mainline Pokemon game like that. People were upset. The sentiment around the franchise was quite bad. People were hoping that they'd bring it around with Gen 9. They kind of did, but also not really. But before Gen 9, they released a little game called Pokemon Legends Arceus that was developed by Game Freak. It would say, people still argue to this day in the Pokemon community if it's a spin-off or a mainline game. Even Game Freak has gone back and forth on it a little bit. But this was made by Game Freak. This was in between Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield. And when that franchise was feeling as stale as it possibly could, and as dry as it could, and it felt like it was really about to go off the cliff, they released this game where you can straight up catch Pokemon in real time out in the open world. Open zone, it is like 5 zones and you teleport to them. But it's a prequel story. It's set technically in the Sinnoh region, back when it was called Hisui. You're throwing wooden Pokeballs. The Pokedex is on pen and paper. There's no camera. You're out there taking notes. There are Pokemon that are oversized that get angry and their eyes glow red and they chase you down. You've got to dodge roll out of the way of Snorlax trying to hit you with rollout. You can run
very
around
Linkian,
the field.
You know?
Yeah, very, very Linkian. It's got some of that. It was one of those first big IP to have like that Breath of the Wild DNA on the Switch console. You could run around the field during battles while your Pokemon were on there. You could jump in between moves and whatnot. It felt like a massive breath of fresh air for that franchise at the perfect time. Now again, you could talk about how they parlayed that success afterwards, but I think Legends Arceus is not my favorite Pokemon game, but I think it's one of the most important, and it's a lot of people's favorite Pokemon game. And I think that it felt like a bit of reformation for that franchise. And I think at a time where people were so tired of Game Freak making Pokemon games and actively asking them to give it to other devs. I mean, people wanted like Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, somebody else to get in there. And this was like Game Freak, like, almost like an old athlete on the verge of retirement having that good game where they're still reminding you like who they are at the end of the day. It was Game Freak still being like, hey, we still got the juice deep down inside when we search for it. So
it wasn't like Kobe's last game, but kind of.
Right, yeah, it's the 38-year-old basketball player scoring 37 randomly on a Tuesday night. But there you go.
Wow. Pokemon Legends Arceus, A Night at the Theater. Who can say how it goes?
Fun fact, the guy who killed Abraham Lincoln graduated from my rival high school. John Wilkes Booth went to Bel Air Academy in Maryland.
Wow.
Well, that's just another reason to hate Maryland.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Good trivia.
That's interesting.
You were giving California schools guff.
Wow, a lot of slavery mixed into this.
Yeah, I guess I should have seen that coming. I apologize.
It's just a it's a part of our history, man.
It's a part of our history, and it would be worse if we didn't acknowledge
exactly. At least we're not like the Esports World Cup in Saudi Arabia, acting like we don't kill journalists and shit. Sorry, Saudi Arabia. I didn't mean to force you to catch a stray there, but it'll happen again.
Greg, the world is dying to know which game you think is most like George Washington.
Left on the board.
He
is left on the board, and I'm torn between two different ones right now, and I don't know which one I want to do. And I might get eyes rolled on me, but just because, George Washington, he was a pioneer, he's revolutionary, he's made our country, he was the first to do so, and it's always kind of
he was a
rough.
general.
Just because you're first to market doesn't mean it's going to be the best, right? Doesn't mean that you're...
He was a general.
He's a general, yeah. I kind of think, George Washington spent a lot of his time fighting, whether physically or diplomatically, and I think that ARMS fits him the most because it's not it's not a perfect game. It's not a perfect game, but it was an innovative game, right?
Somewhere, Eddie Garcia is clapping. That dude, I'm friends with him on Switch. He has 2,000 hours in that game, Greg.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think that game's bad. I
think not.
It was a really it was a fighting game, and a lot of people fought against it and didn't like it or liked it or whatever. And I thought it was a really interesting. It makes you waggle, sure.
But it's good. It's a good.
There's
waggle.
a real argument to be made for ARMS, man. I mean, one of the things people complain about now, especially in the lead up to Switch 2, is that Nintendo's lost the magic or the desire to make something weird and original. That was ARMS, man. That was them coming out with a new console. Here's a brand new IP that uses these weird controllers. It's unlike anything we've made. I mean, obviously it didn't hit, but ARMS is...
I love Zelda. I love Mario. I love Donkey Kong. I love these franchises, but there are other franchises they have that stay stagnant for years. Asif F-Zero until 99. What did you get? We
got a stupid Wii U mini game in Nintendo Land.
Yeah,
and we got that ramen scene in the fucking Smash Ultimate trailer for Min Min. That's talking about ARMS, right? When Min Min was a DLC character in Smash.
Star Fox,
which I think is probably going to end up being that game's legacy.
They did give her they did give ARMS their flowers a little bit. It's not about. It's actually a well-designed game. That's at the core, and it's a fighting game, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I just we would be worse off without the Nintendo that thinks of a game like ARMS. That's how we get the Splatoons of the world.
The one thing that Nintendo's doing is that they learn.
In my opinion, Donovan, the ARMS of this launch is Drag X Drive.
Drag and Drive, yeah.
That's going to be the ARMS because it is innovative. It is here's how using two mice at the same time and the wrist flick to shoot and you can dunk. It's similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably not going to be that successful. We'll see. But they are making new IP. It's just sometimes it's Welcome Tour and sometimes it's 1-2 Switch, and sometimes it's
they haven't had good at. It's learning. They're really good learners. They look back at what they do. If you look at some of their greatest failures become their greatest successes decades later, the Virtual Boy and Power Glove complete failure but the Wii was a huge success, and it was the
you don't get the Wii. You don't get the Wii without the Power Glove, Greg, and you don't get you don't get Switch without Wii U.
Yeah. So they learn, and I think that's great too. And I think if it's representative of George Washington, like learning how to, fight to become your own person, fight to become your own country,
learning how to brush his teeth.
Right? He has wooden teeth and chop down cheddar cheese. Apparently,
and George Washington never told a lie. Is that also the same?
I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What they say.
And famously, Arms is just
very truthful.
Very truthful game. Yeah. All right, let's do a recap.
Recap.
Let's see, Greg, and please listen up, Hasmamo. This is where you come in. George Washington, of course, Arms. Abraham Lincoln, Smash Brothers Ultimate. Thomas Jefferson, Luigi's Mansion 3. Teddy Roosevelt, Breath of the Wild. That's Greg's Mount Switchmore. On to Donovan. George Washington, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Thomas Jefferson, Mario Maker 2. Pokemon's Legends Arceus is Abraham Lincoln, of course.
Solid.
And Teddy Roosevelt masquerading as Super Mario Odyssey. Great. Switchmore. Donovan. Asif, your Switchmore is as follows. George Washington, Animal Crossing's New Horizons. Animal Crossing, New Horizons.
Yes, correct.
Teddy Roosevelt, Tears of the Kingdom, Abraham Lincoln, F-Zero 99. Thomas Jefferson, Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Well done.
Solid.
Is there anything left on the table, just out of curiosity, that is surprising here?
That we didn't include?
In terms of games you would expect to see carved into a mountain in the Midwest.
It's not the Midwest. It's the Mountain West.
Mountain West, okay.
It just, a game that's close to my heart, I would say, is Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Yep, that very well could have made it. I also would have, myself, if I was Switchmoring, I probably would have had Metroid Dread on there.
That was a game that I was kind of staring down as well. I don't think any of us are really into this series, but the Xenoblade Chronicles games are very well liked.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Fire Emblem Three Houses is probably the best Fire Emblem game they've ever made. Some people love Astral Chain.
Wow, top 4 though, on the mountain.
No,
that would be
probably
that
not.
would be.
I'll say this: Pikmin 4 and Splatoon 3.
I thought about Splatoon. I weighed that one a little bit.
I was considering Splatoon 3 at times. And then just from an innovative standpoint, Joe, I think Ring Fit Adventure is going to be one of those games that when you think of the Switch and unique experiences on the Switch, Arms and Ring Fit are 2 of those games, really.
Sure.
But yeah, I saw you put Metroid 4 on there. That's not even out yet, so we can't really judge it.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that there was a Box Boy that came out for Switch.
I think it's just the 3DS games bundled, I think.
Oh, both of those? Okay. That makes sense. And I think there's probably some people out there that would have put Bayonetta 3 on a Mount Rushmore. I wouldn't.
I think you're right.
Some people
I think you're right.
But those are the ones that kind of came to mind, Joe. Curse you, Donovan, for taking Super Mario Maker 2 from me. But I had Wonder in the pocket. Then you guys aren't picking Wonder.
I thought about it. I mean, I love that game. It's not a bad pick. But
that the singing piranha level in the second level, I was the game's so goddamn charming, and it's it's just very Nintendo. I'm sure there's some people that would put Mario Party Jamboree up there too, Joe. That game is extremely well liked. But I think we picked the I'm sure other people these guys weren't taking F-Zero 99. You know what I mean? So I think that's the one where I probably reached, but I'm not doing it without that.
Well, I mean, I think it is emblematic of your Switchmore.
Exactly.
So
we all got one in.
It's the right pick.
F-Zero. I took Pokemon. Greg took Luigi's Mansion. We all got some of our.
Yeah, you got that one in the generation that was it really landed with you, and you and Nicole were playing it together, Greg. I'm I remember when Arceus came out. When Arceus came out, you were just dominant. You're they made a good Pokemon game.
Yeah. Also, I have to look at the actual release date timeline, but one of the shortest cycles from announced to release, because that one they announced in a summer direct maybe, and it was out in January. It just came out of nowhere.
You know what would be cool to do this with, Joe? Again, would be indie games or third party.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pool is huge. But we could do it.
obviously Celeste, Hades,
Stardew Valley,
Stardew Valley,
Switch.
But like third-party games, like I would put Tetris Effect up there.
Sure.
Yeah, there's some third-party stuff.
Nice. Well, I look forward to finding out who wins, and I'm gonna punt it back to Asif for story time.
That was a great game, Joe. I enjoed that.
It's a good one to close the book.
And I know in my brother, he's gonna pick Donovan or something. Because
I hope so.
He loves spiting me in these moments. Like when you give Hasmamu the littlest bit of power, he knows that I'll rant about it next episode and create more content for him to laugh at if he doesn't pick me. So
that's true.
Anyone who's worried about my brother always being a homer and picking me, he doesn't do that.
No, you're probably disadvantaged.
I think I am.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back with story time, so stay tuned. Welcome to Storytime. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. This is Storytime Proviso. This is trademarked. It's Preview Palooza from your friends at Shack News. I'm not talking fast. You're just listening slowly. Persona 5, The Phantom X, is a free-to-play game in the P5 universe. It's coming over from China, and it's got gacha mechanics. What the hell? Ozzy played a little bit of it. What? And it's got like some new protagonist and an owl instead of the cat. Is this some sort of fever dream? What the fuck is
Persona 5 is firmly in Final Fantasy VII territory, where it is like a franchise of its own.
It's almost becoming Kingdom Hearts-like, where it's like 3.11x.
Oh, that's pretty bad, though. Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Like the splintering of the story in Kingdom Hearts.
Right? Yeah, like errating lore, explaining things that never meant to be explained. Yeah, I hate that shit.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I love Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, and I think they had Strikers or whatever, which was like a Musu game.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not for me. Let's just tell you right now. Ozzy previewed it. You should read it. He got a chance to check it out at Sega North America's headquarters in Irvine, California. Brought to you by the Irvine Company, Greg.
Careful. They're getting a cease and desist again.
Never mind. Schmervine. Anyway. Ozzy also played, I'm sure Donovan's a little jealous here, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. That's a really long.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. It continues the Erdic trilogy in October. We knew this was coming when they announced the 3 HD 2D remake. Donovan, you loved the
remake of 3 was awesome. And they very cleverly timed this announcement plus the preview embargo with the 39th anniversary of Dragon Quest. Next year is going to be the 40th. Maybe we'll learn more about DQ12. I'm excited for these. I realized this week, due to my algorithm, that Japan just gets all the cool Dragon Quest merch and stuff. I kept getting so many Japanese Square. I'm going to get on a random soapbox here. I kept getting so much random Square Enix Japan store Dragon Quest merchandise recommended to me on X.com, the Everything app. They kept showing me
the Everything app.
those like slime mugs, like the Dragon Quest slime mugs. They had figures of all the different heroes. They had weird silverware. They had these drinks. They had a cafe. They had food dishes.
We gotta get you over there. We have to.
Every time I click the link, knowing it was going to take me to a .jp, and then I go to the American store, and it's one figure of a side character from DQ5, who I love, which is great.
Here's a T-shirt with the slime on it. Here's a mug. Here's a mug with the slime on it, not shaped like this. You know what I mean? It's never as cool as the Japanese merch, ever. Yeah, they have a freaking 7-Eleven that's themed out like Dragon Quest over there. It's awesome.
It's crazy.
You walk in, it's you hear the entrance, it's awesome. They have a different reverence for that franchise over there for sure.
They do.
Did you not eat at the cafe that was themed as Dragon Quest when we went to Tokyo Game Show last year?
Yeah, you went to the cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all looks great. But no, I'm glad Ozzy liked them. I'm looking forward to checking those out.
This is gonna be it's the same, it's similar engine or whatever, same engine as the other one that came out last year. So it's gonna look good. It's gonna play good. It'll have all those weird retro things that feel a little off. That's it for Prevusa, because apparently we reviewed every game known to mankind this week. So on to Storytime Reviewsa. to Reviews Palooza by Shaq Newsa. The big review of the week, though, like if we're going to call it like, here's the big one, was Elden Ring Nightreign. Sam Chandler reviewed it. He kind of hinted at that last week when he said he couldn't talk about something. He loves this game. And I think the first sentence in his review kind of, or second sentence, when he said that, I'm like, I'm going to try this. It's the Majora's Mask of the Soulsborne family.
Yeah.
I'm interested. With a mix-up of locations and bosses from Elden Ring with some Dark Souls trilogy flip foes sprinkled in. It's got battle royale elements and roguelite features. It's fast-paced and as brutally difficult as it gets. That's where they lost me. It's weird, it's wonderful, and it's fast becoming one of my favorite entries in From Software's pantheon of titles. That is such high praise from Sam. Because
he's the FromSoft guy. He holds those games in high regard. He
loved Elden Ring. Loved it. And he loves Bloodborne. So for him to say that this might be his favorite From game, that's crazy praise from Sam. I recommend you read the full review to understand what he's talking about. But it's 3-player design, but you can play it single player. I saw them talking about that on social this week, also on the Everything app. Yep. Got a 9 out of 10. Highly recommend that you read Sam's review. Let's see. On to the next review. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Very ambitious and deeply flawed, says Lexi. What exactly is this?
This is like
I know about this. I know what this is. Greg.
Yep.
So it was an early access game that like roots heavily in like Skyrim. Like it's an open world game.
It's like an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and it has a lot of ambition. I know this because I got a big ass package at my house from them, unsolicited. So I was like, "What the hell is this?" So I started looking at it. It looks really.
I remember that because I saw it in our general Slack chat. You're like, "What is this?" And I was like,
"What is this?"
Tainted Grail. I was like, "What the?"
Tainted Grail. But it's a super ambitious. Like in a world where like Skyrim reigns supreme, like it's a competitor basically. Like it's on par with that, and it also has a lot of interesting characters and stories and mechanics that keep it fresh as a open world fantasy genre that's really crowded.
So Lexi had this to say about the character models. They're ugly.
Yeah, they are. She's right. Yeah,
stiff combat with little room for expression, repetitive quest structure, poor representation of Irish and Celtic culture. That's not great. Lexi would know that they live over there in the UK. Did have some nice things to say, striking environments and several novel quest lines, but that's not a whole lot to win them over. 5 out of 10. Whoa.
Ooh.
Read the review as a cautionary tale. Save your money, maybe. Or maybe you're willing to look past all those negatives and you don't have Skyrim on your smart fridge installed or whatever. Who knows?
Right.
On to the next review. F125. One more time behind the wheel, says Jan. Feel bad for Jan. He has fallen into the role of the guy who has to review F1 every year.
Yeah.
It feels like every year since Codemasters was acquired by EA, this franchise has gotten slightly less good. It was a 9, then it was an 8, and now it's a 7.
Ooh.
But the pros and cons list here is kind of, it's a 7's not bad, right?
No, it's good.
Yeah. So the pros were Breaking Point 3 provides decent entertainment. I think that's like the story focused thing, like the more campaigny,
right?
Like in NBA 2K, Donovan, like the career mode. It's like that. Yeah. With like, I'm Jake from State Farm and all that crap.
Makes one do the cinnamon challenge with no beverage.
I think F1 as a sport is one of the most privileged sports in the universe. So like the vehicles themselves cost a ton of money. The drivers get paid a ridiculous amount of money. The tickets to go to these things are absurd. It's just a very rich sport.
Yeah.
And I don't like it for that reason.
I will say the F1 movie coming out soon with Brad Pitt looks pretty damn good.
It does.
Off topic here, but yeah.
No, it's on topic. He did Jan. This is the thing that's like EA can't screw this up yet. The cars continue to look really good, and the sound design is outstanding. This game looks amazing. Like it always does. It's one of the best graphics every year in a video game, and the cars look great. I think one of the negatives is they can't show these cars taking damage, right? On-track feeling of speed is still excellent. F1, oh yeah, Donovan, there's F1 movie integration.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so that is actually tied in. My team has some decent new additions. He said there's no real on-track improvements to the AI handling or strategies. That's lame. The breaking point story mode tasks are still repetitive. That's a problem that I think all these sports games face, Donovan, with their career modes.
Yep.
We'll talk about college football later. Issues from previous years continue to exist. That's the EA that I'm talking about. Very little reason to upgrade for racing purists. That's my problem with these games. I don't think this is a game, like, I understand why they do it every year, but this is the game that they should experiment with being a live service, right? Because then you buy it or you play it one time, and you download it, and then it's like a service game. Maybe you have to pay for roster upgrades or track upgrades.
How much would you pay for a roster upgrade in let's say, college football? What's the price that you could stomach?
Okay, so is it free to play? Or does it cost money to download? So I'm paying like $60 to download college football, but it no longer has a year attached to it, right?
Right.
I would be willing to pay $10 or $20 a year to upgrade my rosters. No more than that, though. And even with Madden, like, if Donovan and I didn't have to play that every year, I don't think I would. I would not get it every year. And even with like 2K, a game that Donovan reviews, and thank God I don't have to buy it, I don't get 2K every year. And I know you don't either anymore, Joe. So it's like, there's some years where, like, when the Cavs were good, I guess it would have been 2017, the year after they won, or even 2016. Like, I have those, but I probably bought like 3 2K games since the Cavs won the finals.
If you were locked out of online play by not upgrading, like as if it were like buying like a Logic for Mac,
sure,
where you get a year of service or whatever. Logic actually doesn't work that way, but some software, it's like you get a year of updates, and you can still boot up the software, but you're not necessarily going to have all the functionality after a year. I wonder if they could get away with something like that.
I mean, I think it's getting to that point where they could eventually.
I think I'd be okay with it because I don't really like playing online in sports games anyway. I like career modes, so if I could play the career mode, I would. You're talking to the guy who's still playing NCAA 2013.
Did your tennis guy die yet?
No, I kind of quit playing that game. I should. Okay. You're talking about Retro Slam Tennis? No, I don't. I don't think Earl Divix has died yet. No, he's ranked number 1 in the world right now. I should get back in you'll notice I haven't been playing many mobile games lately. Haven't had a whole lot of time. So yeah, and I'm gonna knock on my head so I don't have any wood around, but I haven't been playing Battlefield lately on my phone. And then this last iteration of the current so there's some actual rule changes coming to F1, the actual sport, to make it less boring. So this is the last year under the current rules. So it makes it feel kind of stale. So this might be a year to hold off, if you bought it last year, especially. But yeah, Jan gave it a 7 out of 10. I trust him on any sim commentary or any racing game commentary. He knows his shit when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, give it a read. And if it's just unfortunate, man, because Codemasters, when they were independent, they were making excellent games. Will Borger reviewed.
Go ahead. Right? That's a big thing. It's not the studios; it's the people. People at Codemasters, yeah. And then when they go and you have the name, the shell, like at BioWare, like you lose all those people. That's what happens.
Yep. Yeah, we have a story about another studio at EA closing.
Yep.
But yeah, more reviews. Will reviewed The Siege and the Sandfox. He said, "Fox on the run. I'm a thief, but I keep what I steal." He gave it an 8 out of 10. He really liked it. This is a side-scrolling
Metroidvania.
It's a Metroidvania, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I want to be careful when I say that because that genre is being applied a lot of places. This is really cool art direction, like really nice pixel art, Joe. I don't know if you noticed.
I noticed.
Yeah, and this seems like a Joe game. I was going to ask you, like, are you intrigued after reading this review?
I am always turned off by the Metroidvania descriptor, but sometimes I indulge myself because, man, the art is really nice here. Wow.
It looks cool, and it looks like they built some cool set pieces and stuff. He also said the music is great. Uses the ideas of Metroidvanias to try new things. That was the thing that kind of stuck out to me, is like, oh, that's actually interesting. But then he also said it has satisfying stealth, and I'm like, I hate stealth in games. I'm so bad at it. I'm literally Leroy Jenkins, just bumbling around every video game I play. He did say the platforming is solid. The movement feels weighty and precise. Love that. And it doesn't overstay its welcome, so it's not too long, which is, I think, the biggest problem I have with Metroidvanias is when they get too long and then I like have to take breaks in between it and then I forget where I was. That's what happened to me with Prince of Persia last year. Like I came back and I was like, what was I doing? At least that game has like a cool fast travel system. And then he said like some of the enemy AI is kind of wonky. They get stuck focusing on you, and the platforming can occasionally be frustrating. That's just the way it is sometimes. We also reviewed, what on earth is this? Scarlet's Salvation. That's right. Anime Returnal. Lucas reviewed this. Bullet hell third-person shooter mashup with roguelike elements.
That's the
looks
perfect
cool.
description. That if the screenshots and trailer, Lucas got that description correct.
Nailed it. Yeah. Cool protagonist and points for the dopey AI character. Didn't Metroid Dread kind of have a dopey AI? Adam, wasn't that the AI character? He was kind of funny.
Oh, the 1%. I made a meme. Yeah, the 1% chance of survival.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Yeah, you're telling me there's a chance. The fundamental gameplay is rad, says Lucas, and it has sick box fights. This
Dude, I love
cool.
to use rad and sick. That's amazing. That's my boy.
Yeah.
My boy.
He did say on the negative side, severe pacing issues drag things down big time, and uninteresting progression systems, easier for me to say, and weapon options. 7 out of 10. Not a bad game. If you can overlook some of those negatives, it just looks cool. I like the art style, and I like the protagonist, and I like third-person shooters. So this is intriguing, and we just keep going.
Crazy.
Well,
Gotta get the game out before next week. Gotta get these games reviewed.
Yeah, you have to get all these out before Switch 2 and Summer of Jeff, right?
Yep.
Everyone's embargo was like this week because no one's going to give a shit next week about any of these. No, these are cool games. You should check them out. Unless we're talking about that one Lexia reviewed, because that sounds kind of terrible. Sorry, which one was that? That was Tainted Grail. Kathy Rain Soothsayer. Kathy Rain 2 Soothsayer. Nearly noir-ish, says Josh Broadwell. What on earth is this?
This looks like a detective visual novel adventure game.
That's right. When it comes to character design, it looks kind of okay. This cool lady with blue hair riding a motorcycle around.
I think Kathy Rain, the first, is pretty well liked adventure game. I'm going to look that up.
I like the screenshot of her talking to the drug dealer outside of a pawn shop. Like the art style looks pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, these are not really my type game.
Kathy Rain, about 10 years ago, very positive reviews on Steam. So this is a long wait for the sequel.
Yeah, which is why I was like, huh? Anyway, it has some of the pros that Josh mentioned are exceptional visual design, excellent puzzle design. The cons were underdeveloped characters, shallow setting, undeserved climax, and inconsistent writing. If you're talking about a story-driven game and it has inconsistent writing, you're going to get docked here at Shack News. And Josh gave it a 6 out of 10 as a result. Now, onto a game that I was very excited about. I think, Greg, you saw this at a PAX West appointment last year. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo.
Oh, yeah. It's like a little like Link's Awakening, like it's a cool little game. Look like a cool little game.
Yeah, it's like a Zelda-like, but you're a little rat who has a yo-yo as your main weapon. Sick tricks, pitfalls, and corporate greed, says Lucas. A strange bat child does... Oh, so it's a bat. Sorry, not a rat. It's a bat.
A bat is a type of rat.
Is it?
It's a flying rodent. Part of the rodent family. California public schools.
I'm like, do I need to fact check this?
I have heard people call bats rat with wings. Family, I don't know if that's biologically correct, but people do refer to them as rats with wings.
Here's what I'm going to say about bats.
Line too.
Here's what I'm going to say about bats, guys.
I
don't know if you guys know. If you've known me long enough, you know I've had to fight 3 bats in the house I'm sitting in right now.
I remember the
bats.
You did have to fight bats. You did.
Bats in Ohio are considered protected animals. In no universe are rats considered protected animals. Like fruit bats are protected animals.
Yeah.
That's a fair distinction. Yeah.
So I don't think that they're rats. They also have wings. But yeah, I have fought 3 rats. I was able to get 2 of them out of my house non-violently.
What happened to the third one?
The third one, this is really funny. So it was, I come home, Lola's still alive. She is over in her bed, and I'm like, there's a bat on the cupboard. I see it when I walk in, and I'm like, oh shit. So I grab Lola and I put her in her carrier so she's safe, right?
Right.
And then I go find a box, because like bats, if you don't make noise, they're not going to do anything. If you don't come at them, they're not going to do anything. And it was during the day. They're nocturnal animals, right? So it wasn't active. So I was like, oh shit. I text David. I'm like, David, can you get over here? I need help removing a bat from my house. This is now the 3rd bat, right? Problem is, David doesn't have a key to my house. And I am now holding a box up against my cupboard with a bat flipping out inside of the box. So I do this. I do this move where I pull the box off of the cupboard, put it on the ground really quickly. So now the box and the ground are now containing this animal, and I'm trying to open a window to hand David the key so that he can come in and help me. As I do this, the fucking bat eats through the box, starts flying around the kitchen. I have clipboards. I like clipboards. I don't know what it is about me. I write notes on clipboards all the time. So I have a clipboard. David is literally on the porch, looking through the window, watching me go to battle with this bat. And yeah, I fucking killed it. What was I supposed to do? It was coming right for me.
We didn't say anything.
No, I'm just saying, it's a protected animal is all I'm saying. It's like,
no, yeah,
when animal control came later that day, or the next day, they're like, you're not supposed to kill bats. I'm like, it was fucking flying at my head, and I had a dog. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Not protect Lola? Not protect myself? Anyway.
Wow.
And yes, I have been vaccinated for fucking rabies as a result of all of the battles I've had with bats. I am the Meredith Palmer of Shack News. There was no fun run. No one ever raised money for me. But anyway,
no fun.
Pipistrello looks nice.
No fun run.
Back to Pipistrello.
Sorry. Just completely derailed the podcast. But yeah, that, man, I'll tell you, man, the amount of money I spent on occlusion in my house to make sure bats couldn't get fucking in. They're like ninjas, dude. They can compress themselves into very small areas and then they hide. But yeah, the first one I encountered was fucking huge. The second one was kind of smaller and the third one was very small. But it's still my kitchen has a low ceiling, so it was just crazy. It was flying right at my head. Anyway, it didn't have a yo-yo. And the music in this game's cool. It's got a really cool 16-bit art style. I'm sorry, I'm jumping between killing bats and talking about a bat video game. But it's a cool game. It really is. Got an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's a GBA era style of art. It has more than just a yo-yo. There's all sorts of weapons and upgrades and kind of Mega Man-like in how it upgrades stuff. The movement, exploration, puzzle solving is all on point. He did say the combat gets in its own way at times, and the platforming sucks when it relies on the basic jump too much. But despite those negatives, Lucas gave it an 8 out of 10, which is a very good rating. And it's a cool little indie game from PM Studios and Pocket Trap. Check it out. And it's on everything, right? It's on Switch, it's on PlayStation, on Xbox, Steam, and Epic Game Store. Joe, have you installed Epic Game Store on your PC?
Asif, come on. You know
No?
why I did.
Oh, Rocket League.
It's the only way to play it.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Also,
I downloaded Rocket League on PC before the great rocketing of the year 2020, Joe.
The great rocketing.
Yeah, I know. I didn't
And
have a machine back then.
I had to choose my true rocket self that day. It was real weird. I had 1,000 hours on PlayStation and 1,000 hours on PC. And it forced you to choose, right, Joe? You chose your Xbox rocket self, I believe.
I did, because my Switch Rock itself had 20 hours instead of 20 days or whatever.
Switch Rocket League was terrible.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
It's not terrible. It's just that the trigger buttons, and this is something that the Switch 2 is going to run into too. The lack of pressure sensitive or travel to the triggers. It's just not the same. So you're still playing with an Xbox controller on your PC though, right?
Yes, strictly a cheap Xbox controller.
Sure.
The Elite that I have stinks for Rocket League, I find. Something just too clicky about it.
I don't like it either. I don't know what it is. One last review, because my God, we just reviewed every fucking game known to mankind. But this is a cool game. To a T. Ozzy got to review it. This is the developer of Katamari Damacy, but this is their new studio, right? Keita Takahashi. I believe it's Uvula? Yeah. This is their first game. This is a person who is in the shape of a T. Their arms are out sideways. That's the premise of this game.
Wow.
So you have to brush your teeth in one of the challenges. So you have to like figure out how to turn your arms to turn the nozzle, turn on the water. You have to brush your teeth. You have to, it's funny. It's got a cute dog.
I think
it's a very cute game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also very, in a very cool way, telling like a story about somebody living with a disability. I think it's like a kind of the through line here. And how they don't let it define them and how they find enjoyment and all of it. I thought that was
and it's
very
got this song about how he doesn't know how he turned into a shape of a T. It's just charm. If you like the Katamari games, you're gonna like this. And yeah, like you said, Dom, there's a through line of stories about people living through disabilities and the people who help them. And yeah, Ozzy called that out. He said, heartwarming story, lovable characters. Individual episodes are short and sweet. Episode 5, he specifically calls out especially as a treat. He mentions the songs being fun. It's a very simple and unique gameplay premise, which is true of a lot of their games, but then they escalate and they're also just fun to play. He mentioned there's some minor localization issues, probably with translation, repetitive morning routine, the brushing your teeth and stuff. But that's like kind of part of being, having to deal with a disability is like, your morning routine is not as simple as someone who may not have your disabilities. So I think it's cool that they stayed true to like what it's really like. Even though I don't know if there's a disease that makes people's arms stick out in a T, but if there is, this is the game. He also pointed out you can't reload save point from the pause menu. So I guess you have to fail in order to get there. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Another 8 out of 10 here at Shack News. And that's all the reviews. On to Newsa, which is a news palooza coined by Shaq Newsa. EA. EA has canceled a Black Panther video game. Right there. I'm going to stop. If you can't make money off a fucking Black Panther video game, you suck.
Yeah.
And then they turn around, they shut down Cliffhanger Games.
Which they founded to make Black Panther, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
We have no idea what the shape of the game. The game could have been just catastrophic. We have no clue because we'll never see it, which sucks.
That's fine. Sucks. But Donovan or Ozzy, I'm glad Ozzy put this in the news. In the last fiscal year, EA spent $2.5 billion on buying back their stock, but they had to close down this studio and they had to shut down this game. Why? Couldn't you have dipped into your buyback? If you can't make money on a Black Panther IP, you suck. You suck. That's like one of the best IPs. Like, outstanding IP. All sorts of stories you could tell in that universe. And it's like beloved.
I mean, especially the last decade, what Black Panther has become culturally since 2018. You talk about the Chadwick Boseman of it all, the MCU. I mean, the fact that Cliffhanger Games had veterans there, they had people that worked on, I believe, what were those Lord of the Rings games called? The Shadow of War and Mortar games. People who made the Nemesis system were working on this thing. It's the Marvel IP. I don't know. And also, I don't even know. I know, Greg said we don't know if what the state of the game was. I don't think the people who cancel games at Electronic Arts are looking at a game and thinking of the quality. But I don't think this game was canceled because it looked like it sucked. I think it got canceled because it wasn't going to make a certain amount of money by a certain amount of time, and therefore it was not useful to the people who are counting coins. I mean, we get AAA garbage and drivel every quarter. I don't think that the quality of the game is even a.
But don't worry, guys. They're still making that Battlefield game. They're still making whatever the fuck they're doing with The Sims, and they're going to make that dog shit skate game, and Apex is still under development.
Well, now there's another secret storyline to watch here. EA Motive is working on an Iron Man game.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, very silently, everyone's doing like the slow head turn to look at them. I mean, I think they said in the press release that they're committed to it.
It's still on track, and they're still working. Because they just fumbled one of the most beloved Disney IP, right? Disney owns Marvel. Then they and for some reason Disney gave them the Star Wars Jedi IP and Iron Man. It's like, if they fumble both those games, you think Disney's going to ever give them another license? No.
Yeah, they can't be thrilled about this. I mean, look at what Insomniac's done for them with those Spider-Man games, and you can't get Black Panther, right?
Exactly. Hand the Black Panther IP over to Insomniac and watch Shaq News give that game of the year. Because we love Insomniac games, and I love Black Panther, and this is just the worst story of the week. I'm sorry. I'm sure there's a worse story out there, actually.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. What? Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
It's real.
See, guys, I was traveling the last few days, so I'm learning some of this news as I read it. Yeah. Normally, I'm like in edits reading these, but like Star Wars Battlefront 2.
For this one, yeah.
Okay, it broke its concurrent player count record on Steam. This is a game that came out years ago. 2017.
Yeah.
That's your first year here, right, Donovan? Or second?
That was, yeah. That was my first year here. I was at that E3 when they revealed it, and Janina Gavankar, Aiden Versio, all that. Yep, I remember all that stuff.
So what the hell is going on here?
So, well, one, it's worth just for the statistic. It came to Steam in 2020, so it's record. You know, we're measuring it since then. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I think it's more than doubled its all-time concurrence on PC. So I think it's like a confluence of factors. One, Andor on Disney Plus, the Star Wars TV show, which is
they're having a Halo effect around.
It just wrapped up its second and final season. It is. You know, say what about Star Wars, it is the most critically beloved, maybe Star Wars anything of the Disney era. People love that show. It is done very, very well. And if you don't know what Andor's about, it ties into Rogue One, which was, I believe, the final DLC for Battlefront 2 was tying into that movie. So you can play as characters from that film and go to locations from that movie. So I think that's kind of gotten people excited about like a Star Wars thing again. Also, to speak to my generation, Gen Z here, Revenge of the Sith just had its anniversary. It was in theaters in May. Star Wars Day just passed. I think a lot of Star Wars things have been happening over the last like 30 to 40 days. And
the game's probably pretty cheap on Steam.
75% off for Star Wars Day. Yeah. There's a void. There's nothing else to play. If you're like itching to play like a Star Wars multiplayer game, that was the last one. I mean, there were Squadrons, but that's like a flying game.
It was one of the last ones on that cusp of like there's no crossplay with it. Like it was one of that last games that did not have crossplay. Was not normal, so like it doesn't have crossplay either.
I think Battlefront might have gotten it.
Does it have crossplay?
I don't know if it's full. It might be like a situation where like consoles yes and then PC no. But I feel like Battlefront ends up getting it. But yeah, no, it's been a story. Yeah, people over social media have been campaigning for Battlefront 3. This has been a thing the last week or two.
On to the next little bit of news. I love this story. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has crossed 3.3 million units sold in 33 days.
Good for them.
Hooray! Good for them. What a great story this game is. This is one of the best stories of the year. Hooray! Mm-hmm. I'm really happy for them that they're crushing it. Critical acclaim. They took a risk as individuals, like joining together to make this team, and they first entry is one of the most beloved games in the history of video games. Amazing.
It's crazy.
I'm so glad this game lived up to expectations. I remember when it got that reveal. I don't remember what showcase it was, but it was like a couple years ago. And it was one of those where like it looked like, you know, just Persona with ultra real graphics, and it was this random French studio or whatnot. And it definitely, at least maybe this is just me being cynical, but it definitely had like too good to be true vibes.
No,
looking at the
100%.
first reveal. Yeah,
100%.
And I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, what's the catch with this game? What's going to suck about it? And then it comes out. It's just awesome. This is what a great debut game for Sandfall Interactive. I haven't beaten it yet, but it's great.
I gotta pick it up because it's a game we're going to be talking about for Game of the Year, right, Joe?
I would be shocked, if this isn't like in the top 5 for everywhere.
And RPG game of the RPG of the year, like it's going to be in the Shaq News Awards discussion. So I got to get in there. I'm just very focused on Doom right now. I'm trying to beat Doom before Switch 2 comes out, which means I have a week. I have less than a week to beat Doom, and I'm like almost halfway through it. I'm worried I'm not going to do it, guys. I know. This was weird, Donovan. A Pokemon Presents was announced for like July 22nd.
Yes. Which again, you know, I say this without pulling up the facts, but I'm pretty confident that is the largest amount of lead time they've given a Pokemon Presents. I mean, usually that's like a next week, this Thursday sort of thing.
Or like maybe you get a month. Like, like they're like, hey, in January, Pokemon Day is coming up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like July is also weird. I don't think we normally get a Pokemon Presents in July. It's usually like August or February, right?
Mm-hmm. I think what's even more strange is that this was a 1-2 announcement because they also announced the release date for Pokemon Legends ZA, which is going to be October 16th.
What the hell was that? Was that like a Nintendo Today post? How did they announce the release date for ZA? Like,
they dropped it on social media. They tweeted the cover art, the key art for it.
It was just like an image with the date, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the MO was there. But that makes it even more confusing because then it's like, before this, you could have said, okay, the July Pokemon Presents is going to be all about Legends Arceus, which it still could be. But the biggest info's out there now. We know the release date. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on here. Is there another Pokemon game coming? Like, maybe?
There's a show, there's a game, right? There's 2 things coming out.
Oh, there's the Netflix series. There's but there's also like I was listening to Kit and Krista talking about the Nintendo lineup for the rest of the year, and they mentioned that some Pokemon games might be getting the Switch 2 edition treatment, and they mentioned Unite getting like a Switch 2 upgrade. So maybe this is going to be, it's like after Donkey Kong comes out, so it's kind of that window where they could announce some stuff.
That maybe? I could see, because we'll be a month and a half into the Switch 2 era. I'll say what every Pokemon fan says when they announce one of these. Could this be the one where they just announce all the old Game Boy games are coming to the fucking virtual console thing or whatever?
That's not happening.
People ask every time. I don't know. There could also be a spinoff. Maybe there's like a new mystery dungeon. But I don't know. My guess is that it will not be all that exciting because these things
it could be Go related.
Go
came out in July, right? So it's like the Go
celebrating its 9th anniversary this summer.
So maybe, I'm not saying it's like the sexiest announcement, but if it is what you're talking about, like one of those kind of broader Pokemon things where they talk about their IP and they talk about like a movie or a TV show or something. I really do like Pokemon Concierge. So if it's news about that, I won't be mad. But we now know Pokemon Legends ZA is coming out on Switch and Switch 2 October 16th. So we know Metroid Prime 4 is not coming out in October. No fucking way.
Gotta be November.
I think it's September.
You think it's earlier?
I think it comes out in September, and this is what Kit and Krista were saying. I agree with them. And then November or December would be Age of Calamity or whatever, Age of Imprisonment. What are they calling it?
Hyrule Warriors. I don't know the subtitle of this one, but
you get to play as Rauru. That's all I gotta say. I'm buying that game. I'm gonna play the fuck out of it because I love Rauru. Anyway, that's your Pokemon news. I grabbed some other news. I just want to read these headlines because they make my head hurt. EA Sports dropped a trailer today for College Football 26. It's adding cross-play to Dynasty mode, 300 more coach models, and trophy rooms. Not a word about improving Dynasty mode other than adding cross-play. It's something like 24 teams or 30 people can play.
The cross-play, and then they mentioned some new recruiting stuff. There's going to be like dynamic recruiting, and then they also said they're doing more. This is just the Dynasty thing. They're doing more with like the stadium pulse, like when you're in a away stadium, and the screen shakes and all that. They said there's going to be like clock distortion in some of those instances, depending on what it is. So maybe it'll like read the wrong time, which sounds like a living nightmare. But they're trying to really create that atmosphere. Then certain players have better composure and deal with it differently. Trophy rooms is that was like an NCAA thing where you could show off the.
The problem with trophy rooms was in 13, Donovan, as someone who's, played over a decade in my Dynasty, you have to start replacing trophies because you run out of room. So that's kind of lame. I just want to read this headline about Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Wilds version 1.011.00.00 patch notes buff the bejesus out of hammers and also adds Akuma from Street Fighter 6 and a Blanca-chan armor set for your Palico.
Wow.
There's also like a Cammy in there, right? I've seen a lot of screenshots of Cammy
that costs
Monster Hunter today.
Yeah, there's paid DLC for Cammy, I think Chun-Li, but Akuma is free.
I like
also
that Capcom is not afraid to just randomly cross over their IP. They do that a lot.
And they do it a lot with Monster Hunter games. Like there was a Mega Man one that was hilarious. Like I love this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just great because like Street Fighter's awesome. It had a great weekend at Combo Breaker again. It's been really fun watching the competitive scene. Just real quick, Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs were blocked by the Federal Trade Court. He's already appealed it, but all the lawyers are saying this is not going to stand. They determined that the worldwide and retaliatory tariff orders exceed any authority granted to the president by IEEPA, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, to regulate importation by means of tariffs. This whole nonsense that we have to charge 25% tariffs to Canada because of fentanyl is bullshit. But the damage has been done. Anyway, fuck Donald Trump. And then, because I just have to shit on Ryan Cohen, GameStop announced that they spent $500 million on Bitcoin.
I had to triple check that number when I was writing that article. I was like, is that real? I had to really look into that one. That's crazy. That's a staggering number. So,
the funniest thing about this, what do you think the GameStop stock price did on this news, guys?
Oh, I know what it did.
Joe and Greg, do you know what it did?
It obviously went up.
No! It's down like 20%.
Yeah.
That's hilarious to me. That's just so funny because all these GameStop people tell me about, when they buy Bitcoin, it's going to be the MOAS. It's going to go to the moon, you guys. Why? If you really love Bitcoin, why the fuck would you buy GameStop stock? Go buy Bitcoin. Why do you want to own a shitty retailer that bought Bitcoin?
It's just fandom incarcerated into economics. It's all it is, fandom. That's what it's become.
That's not how you make money.
No, it's not.
These are not smart people, yeah.
Ryan Cohen's a fucking idiot, and he's late again. He could have done this in 2011 or 2021, and they would have been up something like $5 billion if they did it with their $2 billion of cash instead of investing in the stupid NFT marketplace. It's just, once again, he's late. He is the most unoriginal douchebag in the history of unoriginal douchebag CEOs, and that's saying something. Anyway, fuck him. But yeah, I had to get those two in there. And then we're done with Newsa. I kind of merged Industruza with Newsa there, Joe. Industruza is Industry News, brought to you by Shaq Newsa. I was on assignment when NVIDIA reported, so that's super helpful to everyone on staff when the guy who analyzes the reports is not around.
Me, Bill, and TJ had a good time throwing numbers at each other for a few minutes.
It made you guys appreciate what I do a little bit more, I think. Because I'm pretty fast in analyzing these things. But yeah, they beat. No shit. Like I like to point out these numbers, Joe, because they're just so fucking daunting. In the quarter, right? 3 months.
Right.
They had $44 billion in revenue.
It's absurd.
That's just an insane amount. They beat their earnings expectations when you back out the $4.5 billion adjustment. But what's also crazy, gaming revenue was less than 10% of their overall revenue, $3.8 billion, which was up a ton. And they mentioned specifically Switch 2 as a driver for it. But that was my point earlier, like about the availability of chips for me building a computer. Like all the noise, right? Like we're hearing noise about, I'm not going to buy an $80 game. We're going to get a press release from Nintendo probably in the next month that tells us how many copies of Mario Kart World have been sold. And it's going to be millions, despite all the people commenting on our YouTube channel.
But it was so expensive, no one can afford it, says the 12-year-old.
But I think about like the Switch cost $300, right? The original. We all got 8 years of use out of that thing. I don't know if you bought a OLED, okay, double the price, whatever. It's still less than $100 a year for one of the greatest video game experience platforms of all time. If it has a similar lifespan, I don't think $450 is going to be crazy. But yeah, the data adds up. Nintendo was ramping up spending on supply for Switch 2 in the last 6 to 9 months. So it's starting to show up on the income statement at NVIDIA, the T239. We don't know for sure, but we know for sure, right? That's the chip that they're using. So it's starting to show up. It was a record quarter for them. So they don't even give a fuck about gaming, and they just hit a record for a quarter. 3.8 billion in sales.
Crazy.
So that's it. Oh my God, we did it. I didn't lose my voice. I'm shocked.
Nice.
It was a lot of talking in the last few days. But yeah, that's it. We have one community note. You can We got questions and comments from the Shack News community, which you can join and take over by heading over to shacknews.com/chatty. You know who went over there and declared he's going to take it over? Hasmamu, of all people.
Nice.
So his comment was, the usual nonsensical YouTube comment. He said, Mamu Critic 100.0, and I believe he was talking about me paying out people in bonuses for the podcast, because wasn't I talking about paying everyone in tips to avoid taxes?
Yes.
I heard about that law. It doesn't include credit card tips. It's only cash-based tips. So I would have to show up to everyone at Shack News' house on payday with bags full of cash and be like, I sent you, I would pay you guys like a $1 a month salary, and then the rest of your salary would be handed to you in cash as a tip. And then you wouldn't have to pay taxes if that law passes.
It seems feasible.
I'm not flying to fucking Australia with cash every month to pay Sam. And I'm not going to Canada to do that for Bill. And I'm not going to California for Greg and Ozzy. And I'm not going to Maryland because John Wilkes Booth, that bastard, is from there. That's the callback for earlier in the show. But yeah, it's fucking stupid shit. But yeah, I saw a nice vertical video from a young lady who works in the service industry, and she broke down how it's complete dog shit. Because if you work in food service specifically, it's like 95% of your tips come from credit card now or Apple Pay, and none of that is going to be included in this regulation. So it's just another carrot that was put in front of people that was really just a shit sandwich by the Donald Trump administration. So that's going to do it for today's show. Stay tuned, because I'm sure Donald Trump's going to love this whole taco thing. Did you hear about the taco thing, Joe?
No.
It's an acronym that's going around Wall Street. Whenever Trump is saber rattling about tariffs, it stands for Trump always chickens out. And a journalist brought it up to him, and he was like, "That's a nasty question." And that goes back to that image I dropped in Slack earlier today.
Now I understand the image.
Yeah,
got it.
The only good use of AI I've seen in the last year. So that's gonna do it for today's show. Subscribe on your podcast app of choice, and tune in every Friday for more Shack Together. Go to your podcast polling facility, vote for Shack Together. Real quick, we are doing a indie game showcase next week, June 4th, 2 p.m. It'll go live on Twitch. We're gonna have it go live on our YouTube channels. By the way, Greg, congratulations on the 1 million views on the Tamagotchi short. That is a huge milestone for us. We also hit 45,000 subs on our flagship YouTube channel. That's a huge another milestone for us. And you guys did great with all that Universal coverage, the Epic Universe stuff. So yeah, check out all of Greg and Donovan's content from the Epic Universe trip that they went on. I might have something dropping next week that you're going to want to check out. I'll say that much.
It's sick beats. That's what he's dropping.
No. It was funny. On the drive home, I was, I do my daily Bubbletron, right? And my driver heard the Bubbletron song, and he goes, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's this game. I made it." And I'm like, "That's actually my song. I made the song." And then I'm like, "That's my voice." He's like, "That's your voice?" So I introduced him to Bubbletron, and he's like, "Why did you make this?" And then I we're on an 8-hour drive across the country, right? So I told him about what we're doing, like the stuff we're working on with Shack Pets right now, the future update. And he was like, "Oh, this is all awesome." But yeah, we got a new player. My driver, Tony, was like, "That's hilarious." Because he heard the calculating song show, and he was like, "What's that?"
That's catchy.
It really is. And also the soundboard thing, he just thought that was hilarious. So that's it. We did it. Thanks, Donovan and Greg. I know you guys didn't do Pop Goes the Culture this week, but this kind of served as a Pop Goes the Culture at the beginning, at least. Yes. And to talk about Universal. But maybe you guys will do one next week and kind of show off more of that footage on stream. I think people would be interested. I'm going to have to check out that POV Donkey Kong footage that you just dropped in chat, Greg. But yeah, that's it. That'll do it. Follow us, like us, do all the things. Yeah, thanks for listening. This is where we wave at the camera. Even though it's not on, we say bye. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Donovan. Bye-bye.
And go Knicks.
Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including shacknews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at shacknews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required. But if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play. So if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.